Here, TPK Games, Tuesdays. We're back for more. This is not the campaign, but this is our new show, which I'm really excited about. We got a new squad. We got some familiar faces. We got some new players, which is always exciting. Fresh blood. So yeah, Abrea before the campaign. We're going to be playing in the same world that we have been. This is our homebrew world. It's a homebrew game. These are not rules as written. Be kind to us. But with that, like, why don't we go around and introduce everybody? So new guys, let's start with you, Gabe. It's a pleasure to meet you. I've only played with you a little bit, but why don't you tell us about yourself, friend?
Let's see. So this is going to be kind of a new experience for me. Last time I was playing D&D regularly, it was AD&D 2nd edition. So, Rich, thank you for, he's been getting me up to speed on all the latest rules and everything. And I know we're doing our own world. So I think actually that's going to be a lot of fun to kind of get back into it with. And I've been looking for like a group to play with for a long time. So I'm super excited that you guys invited me to come and be a part of your loving little crew.
Gabe and I have been friends for a really long time, and I've always thought he'd be perfect for this. In fact, he's the first one who ever mentioned D&D to me, and we were like working at our last at a company we worked for a long time ago, and like he brought in like the character sheets and everything, and then like all of us just started leaving the company right before we could actually start playing. And this was like years ago. So he, Gabe's the one who kind of planted the seed that eventually grew into this years later. So I'm just eternally grateful and so happy that you're involved with this now.
Thanks.
Well, for that, I too am grateful, Gabe. But certainly, we've talked a little bit, and my heart is close to yours with the 2nd edition roots. And we talked a lot about Planescape, which will feed a little bit into what we're doing. And mad respect for that AD&D 2nd edition, dude. So it's going to be really exciting. I'm glad to have you along as well. And with that, this may be a familiar face for some of you guys out there. Anybody who knows some of us from the RHAP community, this is our friend, Curt Clark. Curt, I've played a lot of D&D with you in the last 6 months, but why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, friend?
Yeah, I am Curt Clark. I first started playing D&D back in 2nd edition as well. Started DMing a bit at the end of that into 3rd edition. And then completely took a vacation through 4th edition. I think I got most of the books, but I never played it a single time. It's kind of like a 10-year drought for me, and until this last year where I started DMing a game here in Chicago with a couple friends, and then that was periodic at best until Rich, you got things off the ground last fall, and then I've been it's been weekly or at worst bi-weekly since then. So. This should be a good time.
Cool. Well, I'm really glad to have you as well, Curt. We've rolled a lot of dice, so it'll be fun to share that with an audience. And then we got the usual suspects, some of the campaign crew. Alex Donsky, how are you doing?
What's up? I'm doing great, man. I'm really excited. Got some really experienced guys here that I didn't know were going to have that much of history. So I'm excited to see what these guys are going to get into. And also to, have a little bit more freedom in this Abrea campaign as opposed to one terrifying moment to the next terrifying moment to the next more terrifying moment. So I'm psyched. It's going to be fun.
Well, I'll do my best to provide at least infrequent terrifying moments to you. But yeah, to that point, this is going to be a lot more traditional than our other game. And so I think I'm excited about that. I know you guys are. Alan Ward. What's up? How are you?
What's up? Although not as scared in our other campaign as Alex, definitely looking forward to this one. I maybe not the least amount of D&D experience, but I've got very little. So
the most
I don't know.
amount of gaming experience. So,
yeah, I do play a lot of video games though, so I use that to my advantage here.
This man is a demigod in the world of Warcraft. Be not fooled, my friend.
Oh, I haven't played that in years.
And so, Jon Reed, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? I'm as well. That was terrible grammar. I'm very happy to be playing this game with you guys. We were trying to figure out a way to have games on these off-week Tuesdays because we knew because of a couple people's schedule, particularly Mike Bloom and Taryn, who aren't in this show, we weren't going to be able to do every single Tuesday. And so Rich and I talked about different options of running other shows, of doing one-offs. And then Alex came to us and said, what if we took like some of the mentors of the characters that we're playing in the campaign and like spun out like a prequel, a kind of like companion prequel series. And that's what this is. And I'm really happy that we were able to get some new fresh faces and really run with that and stay in Abrea every Tuesday here at TPK. And yeah, I've been hyping this, like this game is like, as we've been going, like the excitement has been growing to play 9th level characters for the first time, which is crazy.
Oh,
and,
cat's out of the bag.
So anyway, I'm just really excited for all that stuff. So I'll kick it back over to Rich and try to contain it for as long as I can.
I too am excited. And just to touch back on it again, this is not rules as written. I use a lot of house rules. I have been playing D&D for a long time. Some of these guys are newer, some of them are older, big breaks, short breaks. We all have a lot of different experience, but we all make it work when we sit down together. So just be kind to us as you view. With that, is there anything else that you guys have as questions before we dive in tonight? Nope. Racking your brains? Nope. Okay. And so then we will start. Again, we find ourselves in the world of Abrea. The year is 6997, first counting, and that count began with the great arrival, with the coming of the shepherds, of the metallic dragons, who brought with them hosts of people, men, elves, dwarves, halflings, and they came here to hide from their ancient enemy, from the chromatic dragons. And they did so successfully for the better part of a millennia, and then the invasion occurred. And with the coming of the chromatic dragons, the dawn of civilization, the utopian civilization that was being built up by these good dragons, these shepherds, to the flocks of people that they brought with them, collapsed and fell, and the world broke and was remade. And now Abrea is a world of 5 great dynasties: red, blue, green, black, and white. The chromatic dragons, the greatest amongst them, are living gods, as are the metallics. They reside in the world with the people, sleeping beneath the capital cities of the dynasties and hidden away in the magical citadels that lie scattered across this world. And so today we find ourselves in the cold Star Coast, and as dawn breaks, a soft pink glow suffuses the sky, tinting the pillow-like clouds which drift lazily across the horizon. Waves break on a rocky beach, and we see 4 figures standing in a semicircle around a popping, crackling bonfire of driftwood. They look out at the cold, greenish-gray water of the sea together, the 4 of them, a thin elvish woman with a circlet of white coral on her brow and deep green robes. And next to her is a squat, tan halfling man with thinning gray curls, soot-stained cheeks, and dirt caked into his small hands. Beside him is a burly human, a tall man over 6 feet with a thick black beard, wrapped in sealskin cloaks pulled tightly about himself. And the 4th figure is perhaps the strangest of all of them. Very small, shorter even than the halfling, the pair of eccentric goggles perched atop his head. His name is Gimble Stonecloak, and he is a gnome. What does Gimble look like?
So Gimble, he's real small, very, very small, like 3.5 feet tall, under 4 feet tall. He's got an apron on. He's got these gear, goggles, and wild brown hair. He's a tinker gnome. He likes to be in his, workspace, tinkering away on little toys. So he's got leather gloves, and yeah, he's got like a large gnomish nose and kind of like a wily look in his eye. He's gone a little crazy from time below ground, working on his inventions.
And so as the 4 of you stand around this crackling bonfire, the elven woman looks down at you, and she says, "The tides of Abrea drew you to us, Gimble Stonecloak. You came a student, a prodigy, but a student nonetheless. You were wide-eyed and brimming with equal parts wonder and potential, and you've shown more affinity for this coast than we've seen in the Cold Star Circle for an age. Now the tides call for you again, noble gnome. And she gestures out to the sea. Says, Abrea seas are vast and deep. See them, swim them. Find the circles of our brethren on the distant shores. Your time has come to leave our coast and make your mark on another world. Are you ready?
I think so. Which druid should I be heading toward next to learn from? I don't even know. I don't even know where I'm supposed to go next.
Rest easy, noble gnome. And she pats you gently on your head, tussles your hair a bit. She just can't help it. She says, take to the sea, follow the tide to the west, and you'll find the city of Port Herod. Seek out friends. Seek those who fight always against the dynasties. Seek those who will travel with you and help keep you safe while you go out and see the far waters. She says, head to the south, Gimble. Find the waters that shine like bright crystals.
Like
for then truly your heart will be lightened, I promise it.
Is there a boat? Like, do I actually like see a boat or anything around?
Oh, there is no boat, friend. These are druids.
But how do I get there to the south? I mean, I can control water, but I would probably die because I can't breathe underwater. And I don't. Do you have a bird? Can I fly on a? How should I get there?
She like silences you. She puts her finger down towards your lips. She says, think of your teachings, Gimble Stonecloak. She says, you wear the body that you were given now, but that is not the only one that you must have. She says, take to the waters, swim with the tides to the west, to Port Herod.
Oh, I don't. Should I be a shark or an octopus or a squid? I don't even. Oh, there's so many choices. So I'll cast. You know what? I'll decide later. And I cast water breathing on myself, and then just kind of wade slowly in and just start swimming. And because I need to figure out what I'm going to turn myself into eventually, but I just want to get started.
Okay, so as we watch the gnome wade into the waves, crashing up against his chest, though he would only be perhaps knee deep for a 6 foot tall man, you see the ruddy-faced, dirty halfling turn and look at the tall man with the black beard and the sealskins, and he just shakes his head and says, "By Ruldau's braided beard, that one's in for one hell of a journey. I hope the best for him. Maybe we'll see him again." He kind of shrugs to himself. And with that, Gimble paddles off into the waves, a smaller and smaller form as they continue to break on just the tiniest bit of his head that we see perking above the water. And so with that, the camera pulls back and slides slightly to the west in the direction that the gnomish druid, strange fellow though he is, swims. And so we have another scene on the coast. We see a rowboat pulling away from the shore, the waves crashing against the stony beach. And we see one man alone on that beach, framed by towering red pines and cedars that make their way up the mountain slopes out before him. The morning sunlight glitters off his bronze-hued scales. We see a shield slung across his back, and beneath it, jutting out over his shoulder, is a longbow and a quiver beside it. Strapped alongside those, we see an aquamarine attached to the pommel of a well-made, finely crafted longsword. And then there's an almost imperceptible flash of light. A rune glimmers. Imperceptible, impossible to see by the untrained eye, and the voice of a woman, stern and confident, slips into the mind of Ghedaar, the Tidewalker. You hear this voice, Ghedaar. You're well equipped for the job, Tidewalker. Port Herod is enemy ground. Tread lightly. Find allies. Stay in contact. May Arome keep you.
Definitely, Commander. I'm looking forward to this mission so much. It's been a while since I've been sent on something where I can go deep undercover, and I'm just looking forward to this. So have faith. Praise Omar, Arom.
And so with that, we see Ghedaar. What does he look like as he makes his way and begins to climb these slopes towards the trail leading to Port Herod in the east?
He's just over. He's like 6.5 feet tall, bronze, Dragonborn. Just seems like a very pleasant person for having so many sharp teeth, and the crests and ridges that kind of adorn his skull are kind of perked up in curiosity perpetually. And as you'd mentioned, he seems to have like an entire arsenal on his back, sword, shield, long swords, some hand axes at his waist, and a quiver of arrows. And he just kind of marches resolutely forward and just trying to get to Port Herod. And he's quite hungry and looking forward to seeing what's on the menu there.
Excellent. And so the scene kind of fades to black as we watch Garrett kind of picking his path up this hillside, moving between the trees, making his way towards the trade road that sits on the hillside up above. And as the scene fades into black, we hear a buzzing sound, like the hum of insects' wings, and it fills the air amidst the songs of chirping crickets and the occasional hoot of an owl. And with that, a mountain grove of tall pines comes into view, and we see dancing, flickering motes of light, tiny, dancing, multi-hued, multicolored, spinning through the air amidst the sounds of the insects in the night. Then a towering figure stands amidst them as the camera pulls back further. We see him arrayed in this green-tinted steel armor etched in strange runes, and he has a massive blade whose metal also matches the green of the plate mail that he wears strapped across his back. He stands well over 8 feet tall and may be the only one of his kind in Abrea. Some who know him call him the Goliath. His lord's voice echoes through the grove, though his lord himself remains unseen. And Valerian hears the voice. This is the place. The crossroads here will bring you to Port Herod. You are my hand in the affairs of Abrea now. You have been trained well and are up to the task, I'm sure. But keep my name ever secret, knight. Serve my will as you judge. The dynasty's ever our foe. Find their enemies, make them our allies, it says. Hold onto the wild places where and when you see a chance to. Bring my storm to the doorstep of the dynasties, and trust not the others which are like me, for they are ever jealous of my bond with you, and would seek to divert you from your path. And with that, these lights kind of form into a ring, an arch before you, and a cascade of kind of multi-hued light rains down to the ground, glimmering, and a vision appears before you suddenly. We see that it's a gate, a portal, to another place where dawn has already found Abrea, and you could see a road leading out away through the other side.
Cool. I'm going to take my giant greatsword off of my back. As lightning starts to trickle down it, I stab it down to the ground, and I say, okay.
And with that, we see the front of this massive man. What does Valerian look like from the front as he begins to stride through this portal?
So Valerian is about 8.5 feet tall, very dark skin, green dreadlocks draped down, armor description very adequate, very heavy plate with the green runes in it. You know, as if he's a knight who's been training out in the wilds for all of his existence. His face is kind, but he always has a mean look on his face. Yeah. We prefer half giant, actually, to Goliath. But
we do. Yes, we do. Kind eyes on a mean face, green dreadlocks, which we know I love. And so we watch as this towering figure has to literally bend and stoop a tiny bit to step through this portal. And from behind, it shimmers once with a hue of multicolored light as it fades away, and this door across Abrea closes. And so now we find ourselves in Port Herod itself, a ship sitting anchored in the bay. There's a fierce dragon head covered in a thin layer of frost jutting off of the prow, and burned into the hull near the bow of the ship is one word, etched into the wood with precision. It says Widowmaker. The perpetual creaking of wood, the clattering of chains, and the slapping of the waves on the hull, all dim in volume, but persist as we focus into the cabin to a silver-haired man sleeping in a hammock in the cabin of the ship amidst the cargo and the other crewmen. What does Berriluss look like?
He's just shy of 6 foot, but he looks like he spent a lot of time on a ship. He's got muscles, but he spends more of his time inside on the ship. He's not tanned out, but he's there.
And so the hammock rocks softly with the motion of the ship, and we could see that a thin layer of sweat coats the pale skin of this man. And his eyes flutter for a moment, and then they open as his dreams overwhelm him. Berriluss Cosmos, you see a pillar. It's diamond, no, ice. And cold begins biting against your skin, overwhelming you. And you realize that though it makes no sense, if you don't approach this column, it will freeze you solid to death. And so you move closer, and you could see a shape inside. Familiar shape, closer still. It's an hourglass. The sand trickling away. Time is running out. And so you reach out and you touch this pillar, and a crack appears, shattering down through it, begins to splinter, and suddenly the hourglass is gone, and there are eyes from the ice staring back at you from within. The eyes of your captain, the eyes of Frostblood. He's stronger than you. The ice is too thick, you can't get to him, but there's danger. And suddenly you turn over your shoulder and you see yourself in the room of a tavern. You see a huge silhouette of a man. Is it a man? 8 feet, 9 feet tall? And he stands in a door frame with light cascading in around him. All you can see is armor, green, covered in runes, a massive blade over his shoulder. And he looks like a man, but you see that really he is a storm. And then there's a peal of thunder and a flash of light, and he's next to you. And the cracking sound, and the column begins to shatter further in front of you. And then there's a flash again, and you see silver scales on bronze. You see another flash of lightning, a third, and there's a roar, not thunder, but the roar of a warrior. And you see a magnificent aquamarine on the pommel of a silver sword. Then it's not an aquamarine, it's bright blue eyes looking back at you, gazing into your own. A knight from beneath the waves, and he's next to you, his bronze skin, his shield, his sword in his hands. And then arcane fire conjured from his weapons, melting at the ice. Then something skitters across your foot. You hear a clattering sound of metal ticking against metal, and you look down to see the strangest of things. It's a duck, but it's a mechanical duck, like a toy. There's a wind-up sticking out the side of it, and it patters along across your feet, and then it hits a boulder, a stone. But the stone is a cloak as it rises, a cloak on the back of a gnome. And then you see that it's a gnome, but it's not a gnome. It's a bear and a wolf. It's a seahorse? Is that right? No. The light flashes again. And you see the gnome beside you, and you see him call the storm, the lightning from the sky, and the ice shatters further, and then you're awake, and there's shouting sounds all around you. You're sitting in your hammock. You're sweaty. Your robes are damp against you, and you hear the voice of your captain diminishing as you glance to the side, and you see him ascending the staircase to the deck of the ship, and the crew all around you laughing as they climb out of their own hammocks. And you hear his words, "I'll be back with fresh recruits soon enough. If the rumors are true, and Darkspawn is in this port, I'll be sure to send for you so you can all see me take his head." And he chuckles as the crew laughs around him and he walks. The White Dragonborn, Captain Frostblood, captain of your ship, the Widowmaker. And his hissing laughter fades, and the crew's own laughter trails off as you hear the door close on the deck of the ship above, and his footsteps carry across them as he climbs down to the rowboat to head into the port. You know that on your last raid, most of the crew were killed. And so you've seen, in your dreams, you've seen these three before, and you've seen the pirate, the one they call Darkspawn. You know that he's here in Port Herod. And so it was your advice that led Captain Frostblood to take port here and look to refill the ranks of his crew while he is at his weakest. Perhaps only 15 men left alive to patrol the ship, the hold filled with gold from your last haul. And you know that these three others that you've seen in your dreams, that the rumor of the pirate, the rumor of Darkspawn, is that he's lost a ship and looking for a new one. He might too be an ally. You're not sure what exactly will happen next, Diviner, but you know this, you've seen the five of you together on the deck of the ship sailing southward, ever southward. And so with that, the camera pulls back again, and we see Frostblood's rowboat as it begins to pull in towards the dock of Port Herod, and we take in the sight of the small town of perhaps 500 or 600. Gray alpine mountains dotted in conifers loom over the churning bay, and white foam breaks on dark algae-slicked stones at the feet of the city. The buildings are 2 to 3 stories, all built of granite, which is the primary trade of this town. And we close in on one of them, an inn. Betty's Board and Bards, a place known for luxurious apartments for those who come visiting from out of town, and talented performers to keep the locals buying their ale here.
Eddie's Board and Bards?
Betty. And so as we pull into Betty's, we see that it's a small inn. There's maybe a half a dozen old, worn pine tables with twice as many booths around the place. Oil lamps proliferate the light in the main room. And we see in one of the booths on the side an enigmatic but notorious figure in the local landscape. The smuggler and one-time captain has been here ever since he lost his ship, the Black Serpent, to an old acquaintance named Ghedaar Dosh. That scoundrel wasted no time in pulling anchor and absconding with the crew and all the goods on the ship before Havoc could stop him. And now the Tiefling finds himself in a booth at Betty's, listening to a minstrel with far less talent than his own and reflecting on the options that he has to extricate himself from his current predicament. Realization dawns on him that those options are few and feeble, and it's harder for him to accept that realization than it is for him to process the terrible song that the minstrel is butchering from the corner of the room. Havoc, what do you look like, sir?
So I'm sitting mostly in the shadows. In my line of work, it's best if people don't get too good a look at me. But if you were to be able to sit down next to me, you'd see that I'm wearing an eye patch. And my horns that would normally be growing profusely and large, I've actually cut them off as part of utility. And if I'm being honest, probably a little bit ashamed of my history of being a tiefling. But it also makes it handy to wear helmets and hats. So I might be sitting there, and especially at this time where the music is so awful, I may whip out a file that I carry around in my pocket and might just be absentmindedly keeping the horns filed down. Dressed in a leather jacket with fur cape or cloak basically around me for the cold weather. Always have my hand crossbow handy at my hip. I've become quite good at sitting down with it there. You never know if
it's a skill.
Sneak up on you.
And so, Havoc, as you sit here, absently filing at your horns, pondering about the situation of financial obligation that you found yourself in, you hear the bell at the door as it rattles and opens. Ding. And in from the out of doors comes a massive, massive fellow, Valerian. After coming out the other side of the crossroads, you traveled for perhaps half a day before you took in the sight of Port Herod, of its stone buildings built on the mountainside leading down into the bay. And on entering the city, you were recommended a room at Betty's. They told you, this is the only place that visitors from the land go. So you made your way through the small town, taking in the carts with the large cuts of granite stone being hauled from the quarry on the mountain, making their way to the barges down in the port. And you saw the vendors, many stalls selling salted fish and lobsters, crabs, all manner of mollusks. Seafood abounds. And you found yourself now at Betty's Board and Bards. And so you open the door, ding, stepping in to the tap room, taking in the overwhelming kind of glow. I don't think that Valerian has ever necessarily seen so many oil lamps in one place at once. And you hear a minstrel playing a lovely song in the corner, taking the sights of the many individuals within. There's a strange figure sitting shadowed in one of the booths that you could take in, a massive, massive orc at the bar on a stool, elbows down, sprawling over, taking up enough space that 3 people could sit there. There's a lovely looking woman in a gown of finery sitting with 2 men in one of the other booths, and a number of random other patrons scattered through the place that you see as you take it in.
All right, I'm going to walk up to the attractive looking lady, and I'm going to sit down, and I'm going to turn to her and, yes, I know I am big. I would like a big ale. On the table.
And so the attractive looking lady turns, taking you in for a minute, well, that's not my job at all, sir. I'm here for my dinner.
Could you buy me an ale?
And so one of the men next to her is kind of like, excuse me, sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave, please. He said, nobody's buying you no ale here at this table. You need to go talk to Betty behind the bar over there. She'll get you your ale.
This place is confusing. And then I'll get up and walk.
That's what they all
walk over to the bar.
And so, as you're walking over and you're taking this in, Havoc, filing from the other, you hear the fellow turns to the woman like, my, well, he's a big bloke, ain't he? Son of Virago, my word. And so you make your way over to the bar where there's this very sort of portly, heavy set woman with these kind of thick red curls, tied up in a tight kind of bun at the back of her head. And as you approach, she just kind of "Ooh, well, my, you are a massive fellow. I'm not even entirely sure we have enough food here for you."
Well, you could start with a very big beer.
Well, beer, yes, of course. Please, have a seat. Have you ever been to Port Herod before?
I have never been to any Herod or port before.
Oh, I'd imagine not, for I certainly would have made a note of it. Not much gets past Betty, you see, of course. And so she's like taking a tankard out, and she like kind of lifts it up, like shakes her head, putting it down, and she kind of like looks around, and you see her like, just a moment. And she walks through like one of the doors off to the side that flaps closed, and then she's back out a moment later with a pitcher in her hand, with a full pitcher that she lowers beneath one of the casks on the wall behind her, and tilts the tap as she begins to fill it. And she says, this isn't exactly a cup, but, well, I imagine if one's so large as you, I mean, just to imagine it, I'd never even imagined seeing such a thing. I truly can't believe it. What did you say your name was, boy?
My name is Valerian.
Well, Valerian, this will cost you no less than 5 silver pieces, but it will be worth every drop of it.
Okay.
And so she kind of like slaps this pitcher down and like slides it across the bar to you, like really just like amazement, her eyes wide as she's like taking you in, like. And you see the orc kind of like glance up from the bar next to you. He's got a bit of a scowl on his face, as most orcs do, and he just kind of takes you in quietly, and then like gives you a little soft grunt with a nod of acknowledgement.
I'm nodding to him as well as I continue to like funnel this beer into my mouth.
Excellent. And so, with that, as you're standing there taking in this beer by the pitcher, there's another ding at the bell. Gimble, my friend. Whatever.
Well, you wouldn't know it because I'm in the shape of a dire wolf, and I push the door open and pad into the bar.
Okay.
And look around.
People take a moment and look, and then they're looking for the silhouette of somebody standing 5 or 6 feet tall in the door, and they don't see it, and they look down and see this massive wolf, nearly the size of a pony, nosing its way into the door of the bar. Havoc.
And then goes to the hand crossbow.
Do I see him? Do I see that?
There's a figure in the shadows whose hand you see lower below the table. But as you take this in, many other things occur simultaneously. The handsome woman sitting with the 2 fellows at the booth a moment ago, flustered by the giant man, turns and, who is that? Oh! And she screams at the top of her lungs, at which point the minstrel turns, seeing the wolf in the door, and drops his lute, the music ceasing immediately as Betty leans past the massive form of Valerian, funneling beer down his throat, too concerned with the delightful taste of this honeyed mead to recognize the dire wolf behind him. And Betty sees this massive canine form in her door, like, my word, what is that? This is absolutely you there, you. And you see her pointing to a fellow that's wearing like studded leather armor with a club kind of hanging from his belt, clearly the guard of this place, who turns like, I ain't getting in the middle of this one, Betty. I'm here just to throw out the drunks. I'm not supposed to fight wolves the size of horses. And he's like backed himself up to a wall. All of this has occurred like within moments.
So when she points at me and screams, everyone sees the wolf kind of like put a paw up to his face and look at it, and then all of a sudden there's just a gnome there, and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot to switch. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. That must have been really scary for all of you. I'm thirsty.
The handsome woman in the back is like, what am I even looking at? And Betty is just like, well, that's a lovely trick, little fellow, but there'll be no more of that while you're staying under my roof. 2 feet on the floor, please, and shoes and shirt required for service.
It was an accident. It was an accident. I swear it was an accident.
And so, Valerian, as you're like pounding this beer, you hear this like panic erupt all around you. People are terrified, scary shit's happening, and you turn and like, there's a tiny little man standing in the door. It's a gnome. These people are truly cowards.
I'm just gonna laugh. Ho, ho, ho. And did I hear him say that he wanted a drink? Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna offer. Are you thirsty, little gnome?
Yes, yeah, I'm really thirsty.
You gonna walk over?
Yeah, I'll walk over. Are you coming to me? Or I'll meet you halfway.
Yeah, I'll meet him halfway, and then I'll start trying to pour it into his little mouth. The whole jug, like I was doing it.
Oh my God! Can Gimble funnel ale?
I would like to try. I would like to attempt to do so.
Proficient in funneling. Oh gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I would love to attempt to funnel ale. How does that?
What do we think? I mean, like, what's the relevance here? So, do we want to make like a dex check as you try to catch it all, and the giant like pours it, or is it Constitution because you can catch it, but it's really about keeping it all in?
Yeah, let's see how drunk how much I get and how drunk that makes me really quickly. I'm just a wee gnome.
Okay, make the con save. Make a Constitution save.
Okay.
Let's just see what happens here. Ooh, first roll. 15. Not bad. This gnome is taking the ale like a champion. Clearly, he is a kindred spirit. His size may be small, but his heart clearly quite big, as well as his gut.
Quite full of beer.
And so I'll be like, I assume he just keeps pouring, and I'll just kind of close my mouth and so that it stops.
And then how much of the cask is left? Are we about at like half cast right now?
It was just like a pitcher, right? So
okay.
You knocked back most of the pitcher. She just gave it to you like as a cup.
Okay. As there's a little bit left, I'm gonna stop and then pour the rest in my mouth. And turn to him like, you drink very well, little one.
Oh, thanks. What do I owe you anything? And like I'll like kind of be checking my pockets for stuff.
You have 5 silver, perhaps.
No, but and I'll kind of give him a little wind up duck toy that's in my left like pocket, and just be like, it's made out of materials that might be 5 silver, maybe.
If you say so.
And I'll hand him a little ducky.
Take it.
Yeah. It's a little metal and wooden wind-up duck. You've never, I don't think, seen anything like this before. It's quite a strange thing. And so as you're taking this in, and you have it like sitting in the back, like watching this odd pair at the bar, we go to the streets for a moment. Ghedaar, you're making your way. You've walked down along the coastal road, and you've come into the city of Port Herod and taken in the stone buildings, the granite, the sites, the markets, the vendors, the people, the fisher folk, the stonemasons as you go, the miners. And as you're kind of walking through the streets, you too have been advised to seek board and food at Betty's Board and Bards. And so while you're making your way to this fine establishment, moving through the streets, you see coming down a cross street towards you an entourage, a small group. There's a woman wearing like half plate armor with a mace at her side, whitish blonde hair, very pale. And next to her, far more interestingly, is another Dragonborn. Not something you see every day, though not wildly uncommon here in Abrea, but his scales shine white. He's tall and rather bulky. He's built the same as you, but perhaps a bit taller. And as he's walking down this cross street, he catches sight of you. And you see his eyes light up. And he begins to make his way towards you, calling out, "You there, Bronzeborn."
Yes. What can I do for you, friend?
He says, "I know every Dragonborn on the Cold Star Coast, Bronzeborn, but I do not know you. Who are you?"
Oh, my name is Ghedaar. I'm actually from. Are you familiar with Marchfield?
I've heard of the place. Too far inland for me.
well, luckily that's where I'm from. I didn't catch your name, friend.
I am Captain Frostblood of the Widowmaker.
The Widow is, I assume, well, given the way you just spoke, I assume that's a ship.
He gestures. He like throws his thumb over his shoulder, and you see like one specific ship like out anchored in the bay, not on the port.
Oh, that's quite a large ship. Congratulations.
Yes, it did not come to me easily.
I bet. It looks. Did it look like he was heading to Betty's?
No, he's moving definitely in a different direction. He's heading like up deeper in the city, but he says to you, what brings you to Port Herod?
Well, living on the coast doesn't come cheap, and I'm just looking for an opportunity to make some funds. And I thought that you just kind of see what's available in town. And haven't eaten in a while, so I was actually going to head to the inn here and grab a bite.
My business detains me tonight. I have far more enticing pursuits than business deals. But you are in luck to have run into me first in coming into Port Herod, Ghedaar. I am in need of swords and crewmen. If you can wield that bow and blade, I have much work for you.
I lean in and go, it's not just for show. I'm quite able with these weapons. Well, you are busy tonight. Perhaps we meet later on in the next couple of days.
Come to the Widowmaker tomorrow or the day next, should you seek employment, Bronzeborn. Says I keep a bit of a coalition amongst our kind. You would be well received. But now, beauty calls, and I must answer it. And he kind of like looks up past you. You see his gaze carrying beyond you, and you glance over your shoulder and you see like on the other side of the cross street coming down this intersection towards you, a third Dragonborn. This one black scaled, very thin, narrow, wearing light leather armor, black also, with a cloak, like fine, well-made kind of velvet cloak draped about her shoulders. And he says, that one is off limits. Don't get any ideas. She's quite a beauty, I know, but she's spoken for. Come and find me, sellsword. You'll earn your weight in gold ravaging the seas with frostblood.
Your stature says neutral, but your tone of your voice says evil. So I'm going. I will. You know what? I will look to make my way to the Widowmaker. I'm sure there's a great story behind that name. In the next couple of days. Otherwise, I won't keep you from whatever business you are here to attend to. There's some food in that inn with my name on it, so I bid you farewell.
Yes, good meetings, Bronzeborn. And so, like, with that, he kind of, like, steps past you, like, not giving you a second glance as he makes his way to the black Dragonborn waiting. And you see the kind of woman who's with him with the like, whitish blonde hair following as the three of them, like, just head further down the street up into the village. And so you make your way to Betty's. It's not far at all. Just another few blocks. Yeah.
I kind of stand there and kind of wait for them to walk off in the distance, and then, you know, kind of like a federal agent would lean into and speak into their lapel. I kind of lean a little bit over my shoulder. It looks like I'm speaking into the aquamarine, and I say, Agent report, just met a black and a white Dragonborn, unsure of status, but maybe learning more later. We'll report back with findings. And then I I turn back and kind of make my way to the inn.
Okay. And so with that, you make your way a couple more blocks further into the town, heading kind of down towards the port. Then you find Betty's, the sign with the triple B's hanging above the door on its old chain links. And so, yeah, you open the door, and all of you there inside the inn hear once more this bell as in steps this imposing sight of this bronze-scaled Dragonborn wearing silver dragon-scale armor, arrayed in weaponry. And you see standing at the bar this tiny gnome and a massive, over 8-foot tall fellow with green dreadlocks and green runic armor. And then you see this mysterious individual subtly kind of hiding, sitting in the shadows of one of the booths, filing at a horn. Big orc at the bar, and some patrons.
I am definitely in the right place. This is amazing. I go up to the bar and like looking down at the gnome, and then like you're huge. I thought I was big. Wow. And then I look behind the bar and I go, "Are you Betty?"
Oh yes, absolutely. Who else would I be?
Betty's daughter.
Well, that's also true. I am
Okay.
Betty's daughter, but my mother loved the name, and so Betty.
What do you have in the way of sandwiches
Sandwiches?
or pies or?
You've come all the way to Port Herod, joy of the sea, and you want sandwiches? Well, I make the most delicious sandwiches you have ever imagined, Dragonborn. Sandwiches with fish, sandwiches with bird, sandwiches with lamb.
Lamb,
no cows.
Yes. Well, lamb would be great, and one of those, and then I turn and kind of look at whatever the gnome and the half giant are doing.
As he looks at me, I'm going to be like, I would like 6 of those.
He says to you.
Man after my own heart. Attack.
She says, "Really though, do you want 6 sandwiches?"
No, I was just being dramatic. 3 will do.
Quite a dramatic fellow. Yes, all right. 4 sandwiches. Would you like a quarter sandwich there, small fellow?
No, I'm okay. And I mutter some words to myself and conjure some good berries.
Oh yes. Okay.
And I like look up to both these huge guys next to me, and I like offer them a good berry if they want it.
Let's get these little delightful looking red berries.
I'll take the whole handful.
Oh.
His hand kind of swallows like almost your entire arm as he like extricates the berries from you, Gimble. And do you like eat them? You wolf them down?
I'll take them all except for 2, and then I'll give them to the 2 of them.
Can I, before he gets them down, can I try doing a mage hand to go in and grab one and bring it over to me?
Oh yeah, sure. So as he's like about to like pop the berries back, you like deftly conjure your mage hand, and this invisible hand just plucks one of the berries right out of the air in between his hand and his mouth as he kind of tosses them. And so you see out of the corner of your eye, Valerian, one of these berries, man, it can fly or something, because it's just like it like zoots right out of your mouth.
Gonna look down at the little gnome and be like, that was another incredible trick, little gnome.
It wasn't me. That was awesome. Who did that?
Havoc, do you eat the berry? Is the berry?
Oh, yeah.
And so you're able to like follow the trail of the berry as it kind of soars across the room of the inn under all the candlelight, vanishing into the shadowy booth with the mysterious figure therein.
That guy's
I
creepy.
guess I think he's interesting. Maybe we should go say hi. Maybe he can buy us more ale.
Sure.
Only if you bring me one of those mutton sandwiches.
Okay, one more sandwich. 6 sandwiches it is.
I already made 7. I took you at your first word. You are quite an enormous fellow.
You're a very smart lady. I'll grab the tray of sandwiches and walk over.
I follow my sandwich.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So the three of you kind of like make your way over to this booth, and this motley crew approaches Havoc.
And I pick out some chairs for them to be able to use.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
You're a very interesting collection of, interesting peoples.
Ooh, where are you from? You've got an interesting accent.
From here and from there.
Oh, me too.
All over the place, really. Work takes me traveling quite a bit.
Did you like that berry? Do you want more? I can make more.
Yeah, it was good berry.
I'll conjure another 5 berries, and I'll hey.
Thank you very much. Very appreciative. Being hungry of late. Business is, how you say, not so good.
Oh, what kind of business?
I help for peoples to get the things they are needing for to get.
For peoples? Which for?
Whatever. Yeah, I'm very flexible. And part of my policy that makes me extra effective is I don't ask too many questions.
Ooh, that's mysterious.
Yeah, that happens when you don't ask questions.
It's as the four of you are like having this conversation, the door opens again. And in come actually a group of people. There's 3 or 4 of them in front, and they look like real rough and tumble sort. You're able to recognize them pretty quickly, Havoc, as pirates, right? They're wearing poor clothes, but they're carrying heavy coin purses on their rope belts. You know, they stink of the sea, and they have the eager look in their eyes of people who have been holed up away from food, ale, and companionship for just a tad too long. And at the back of this kind of small collection of like 3 or 4 souls comes this very interesting looking individual, Berriluss Cosmos, with his tall silver hair. And so you wouldn't know him by name, but as you take in the sight of this man who comes striding in, the silver hair kind of cascading down around him, a staff topped by a crystal orb in his hands, you recognize that he, like you, has blood that is more than human. He's not a tiefling, per se, but he's something else more than. And so, Berriluss, as you come striding into the room of this place, you take in the sights. You see the massive orc at the bar. You see Betty behind it making more sandwiches. And you see this motley assortment of individuals at the corner. And though you can't recognize them all by face because you've never seen them before, you recognize each of them exactly as you see them.
And are the sandwiches at the table already, right?
Yeah, yes.
I see the group of people. I see the sandwiches, and I go, 2 sandwiches, please.
To them or to Betty?
No, to Betty. To just towards the bar.
She just kind of glances up like, oh, of course. Good decision.
Can I use my perception to see if I can learn a little bit more about this mysterious figure?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, so go ahead. Roll perception. Yep. Perfect. What do we get? 24. Okay.
I hawk this one.
As you take him in, Havoc, you recognize a kindred spirit immediately. Not just in the strange blood. He is clearly an Assimar. You've heard of them before, even if you haven't met one. Here in Abrea, there are no angels, no planetars like there might be in other realms, but there are forgotten gods who walk the realms in service to the great deities, to the dragon deities. And some of these forgotten gods, these lesser gods, demigods we might call them, get wrapped up in the affairs of mortals, of those who serve them, of those who they teach. And some of those unions end up with children. And so you can see that this is one of like the god-blooded. This is an Assimar. His parent, one of his parents, is a being of incredible power here in this world. But more so than these things which you recognize about him physically, you see a kindred soul, and that this is a pirate. This person looks like he has trappings that are arcane in nature of some sort, clearly belongs on the sea or has spent some time thereof. And you're able to recognize it just in his appearance and the way he walks and the way he takes in the room and kind of how he's like dealing with the others of the pirate group that kind of like walk in with him as they separate to their own tables.
And are these what are they called?
Called Assimar.
The Assimar. Do I have any concept that they might be treated better or accepted better in society than me as a tiefling?
Honestly, the joke is that they're not. Like, people are terrified of them. You know what I mean? Like, people who like recognize them are like often very intimidated and afraid, or like very interested and intrigued. And that's pretty generally similar to the kind of reception that you get, right? You'll meet people who are very interested in you because of how different you are, and others who are just terrified, right?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Do I see any indication that these people, are they dressed at all similarly to the captain of the Widowmaker that I met, or the trio I met outside? Like, is there anything that I see linking these groups?
Roll an intelligence check. Just a flat intelligence check. 17. Yes, you do. You're able to recognize that the swords at their belts are all very like uniform and similar, and you see that there's like a seal on the pommel of each of them that actually matches the mark that you saw on the shield of the woman who was with the captain.
Okay, I just can note that.
Do they look mean?
Affiliation. Yeah, sure. Just
okay.
As a general thing, sure. Yeah.
When they walk in though, and I notice that they're mean, can I look around for like any little stones or rocks anywhere, like maybe on the floor or just little?
I mean, it's honestly, it's like a pretty well swept up inn, but I mean, there's like small like buns of bread on the table. There's like bits of bread. There's
Don't waste the bread.
Right.
No,
the walls are stone, certainly, right? Like the tables are wooden and stuff. You could chip a piece of wood off, but there's no like loose stones or rock kind of floating around.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay.
So these new guys, friends of yours, maybe? New guys in town?
I've never seen them before. I've never seen these guys before.
Nope. Although, I think when I was on my way here, I think I might have run into some of their compatriots outside. They're headed somewhere else, though.
Seems like they're probably in need of help with spending their money. Maybe we should invite them over.
How many of them are there, Rich?
There was 4 of them, and then the wizard in the back. This very distinctly different looking fellow. Though he comes in as part of their group, he stands out, right?
As soon as I get my sandwiches, I'm just gonna make my way towards their table, just like.
Oh yeah. You have the sandwiches. Yeah. She slices them up quickly and puts them on a plate for you. Like, I'll collect the bill in just a few moments. Too many sandwiches to make.
I just grab my own chair from like forever away from their table and bring it all the way over to the table.
Just dragging it noisily the entire way.
Yeah. Over your bit is dragging it like around to the other tables, around the patrons. Like, excuse me. Like, comes dragging this chair up to the table with the 4 of you. And a plate of sandwiches.
Greetings.
Welcome, new friend. It seems we are now a table of very friendly strangers, but I'm afraid I know none of you.
Very strange friendlies, maybe.
Hello! I'm Valerian. I come from the woods. I seek ale and adventure and women.
And you are a giant one, are you not?
Yeah, I'm really big. I get that. It's like a running theme at this point.
Noble pursuits, my friend. Very noble.
Thank you. And I'm going to get more sandwiches and just continue to eat.
Yeah, you guys are mowing down. Yeah.
Well, I'm Ghedaar, just very, just from down the coast, several days journey, just in town looking for anybody that could use some help.
Oh, Mr. Dragon, you came down the coast recently?
Yeah.
Did you run into any, druid clans or, people doing crazy things with, trees or fire or rocks anywhere on your journey?
Now that you mention it, I didn't.
Oh.
It was actually pretty uneventful until I got here. I rode kind of up the coast, so I wasn't necessarily walking along the beach the entire way. I like the exercise.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll ask somebody else when I meet them.
Well, there's the other folks here, like this friendly new guy who just sat down at our table with a chair from across the room.
Well, let's keep going around the circle and find out the short man's name.
Oh, I'm Gimble. Hi guys, I'm Gimble.
Gimble, are you a druid?
Well, yes, but I've been learning from the coastal druids, so I know lots of stuff about water. But I don't know much about other things. So I've been trying to find other druids that can teach me stuff, and none of you guys look very nature-y to me. So I was just kind of assuming, since you were on, this dragon guy came in, he's like, hey, I've been traveling around. Maybe he had seen druid. Anyway, sorry. More good berries? And I'll make more good berries.
Just turn to a big, okay.
And you, sir, with the missing eye.
My name is Havoc. Like I've said, I work here, I work there. Currently looking for more work. Again, I bring to people the things they are needing to get. I get the jobs done that may be more difficult for them to be able to do. When they don't want too many people to know about them is a speciality.
Interesting. Sounds fruitful.
Yeah, he says a lot of words to disguise what he really does. Now, Rich, would I recognize the name Havoc at all?
When he says the name, you know that he has another name that people don't know, and you know that this is the guy you're looking for. And because right? But other people don't. You know that this is the man that you've been this is why you came here. Yeah.
So I am not gonna say what ship I am from. So my name is Berriluss. I come here seeking people that I have seen in some visions. I know of, and I'm not talking loud enough, so I'm hush toned, so not so that the other pirates can maybe hear.
Yeah, they're all bodily drinking heavily already, right? They're couldn't care less about what you're doing. So
it looks to us like you've disassociated from them for the time.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And
I'd imagine it's pretty conspicuous to all of you that he's consciously talking in hushed tones and trying to keep this private to the table.
I've had some visions of some terrible things to come, and also of a few people that might be able to help me. And you guys, every last one of you, crazy as this may seem, match my description from what I've seen in my visions. So I come to you to ask you if maybe you guys would like to try and maybe take a boat away from a captain.
Would this boat be the Widowmaker by any chance?
Maybe.
Hold this thought right here, because This deserves proper attention. He is awful. I'd like to give bardic inspiration to the musician in the corner. Finally, I'm tired of the horrible music.
Excellent, dude. Oh, I love it. So you throw some bardic inspiration at him. Hold on.
Basically, I just stand up and I'm like, no, is da tirita patara, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Give him some guidance.
Oh yeah, he needs the bardic inspiration. What is it? Is it a D8 for you? I don't remember.
Let me see.
I'm giving him a D8 anyway.
Ooh.
Even despite your assistance, he like kind of like looks over and like nods as you start like telling him like no. And then he begins like even faltering even worse and like he kind of fumbles his way through the end of the song like very badly and just shakes his head like with disgust, realizing how bad his own performance was. He's like, It's not my fault. It was the wolf. It put me off my whole game. How the hell am I supposed to perform when there's wolves just walking in the front door? I need a drink. Intermission, he says, and he kind of like sets the loot down. It's like he heads over to the bar to get a drink.
He's blaming me for being terrible? Jeez.
Honestly, silence is better than what was going on before.
You kind of crushed that poor man's spirit. Just saying.
I summon. Can I summon? How are there any birds that are challenge rating of like a quarter or less?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like little bluebirds, maybe.
Sure.
So I conjure like 8 little bluebirds and send them over to the guy who was singing before to cheer him up because he was scared of the.
Oh, those birds! Did you summon these birds? Please, no, but the birds are like now like flying around the room on the other side, and the guy is kind of looking up at them like, well, that's pretty cool. I mean, he's like pretty taken in. The patrons are all laughing.
More sandwiches, eh?
Just like, well, yes, it's better than mopping blood off the floors. Oh, all right, yes, they're coming. With their butcher knife cutting at the mutton. Yes.
So
you're saying there is some boat to have taking, maybe captain not so happy, we get away scot-free, nobody gets hurt except for them. This is sounding good to me. When do we start?
Well, the ship leaves in the next couple of days, so we're going to want to get on this pretty quick.
Sounds good. You have the money?
The boat has the money.
Yeah, I ran into who I assume was your captain on my way in.
Oh yeah, he's a fun guy, isn't he?
White Dragonborn, like me.
Oh yeah,
but yeah,
but white.
But white. but there was like a black Dragonborn with him.
You know that this is like his compatriot. She's not like a member of the crew consistently. Berriluss knows this. She's not like consistently a member of the crew, but you know of her. Okay. And her name, she's called Serval the Shadow. And so she's like a contact of his in the dynasties, right? He like makes it a point to like meet up with her in different like port cities after you guys come back from raiding, right?
I drink that in.
Like the fence.
And then I described there was another woman with blonde hair, pale skin that was with him as well.
That Berriluss is his first mate, Avila Karsh. She's a priest of Enid Wraith, of the White Emperor, of the White Dragon.
Yeah, so they were.
She's a sassy one.
She didn't speak much, but they were wondering if I wanted to be part of their crew. Apparently, they're down several crew.
Yeah, the last. He did not heed my warnings on the last mission, and so we lost a couple men, quite a few of them. He's here to pick up new ones, but I need him not to. Well, the world needs him not to, really. It will be a big problem.
So if we borrow this boat, where do we want to go with it?
Yeah, borrow. Yeah, borrow.
Precisely. Borrow.
Borrow for extended period.
That sounds like a long journey.
Yeah.
I like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but he just rubbed me the wrong. I was getting bad vibes from him.
He does. He rubs people the wrong way a lot. You shouldn't let him touch you, though.
No. It was verbal rubbing. That's not better, is it?
You got an oral rub. You got an oral rub down, huh?
I got an oral rub down, and I try not to judge by the color of one's scales being chromatic or metallic. But he spoke like a bad guy.
Very conveniently so, because if my visions come true, he will be a very bad guy.
Well, tell us more about these visions. And what you saw? Maybe you saw me. You saw us.
Maybe we want more privacy for this discussion. We can get a room and maybe talk outside of, where those pirates might be listening to us.
Oh, there's
a lot of talk of robbing and getting of rooms. This is a very strange conversation you're having.
Those guys you came in with, do they share your sentiment?
Probably not.
Oh.
I don't think there's not.
Should we attack them now?
Attack?
No.
Okay. No, I'm just
people in the inn.
Like, it's always like step 1 plan, step 2 action. And I was just wondering if that was the plan. I wasn't about to go up there. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't about to just leap up and attack. I was just wondering what you were proposing. I think it's not that, apparently.
I think it would probably be easier to get on the ship if I were to pose you all as new recruits.
Oh, I'm already got a foot in the door there.
Yeah.
He found me on
the rest of these goons.
Abrea and LinkedIn.
I could be the mechanic of the ship. But are we sure this is the best plan? Because I think what we should do is build a ship that looks exactly like this ship, and then at night we could swap them out with one another, and then we can take the ship that you want to have, and then they can have the ship that we just built.
Talking 2 days.
Oh. Yeah, then maybe posing as crew is the best idea.
Yeah. Well, you had a good idea right there. We should have you guys pose as crew. That's a good idea.
Do you get a kickback for bringing on new recruits? Like if we last 3 months or a year, you get some sort of stipend?
I'm hoping that the kickback of getting you guys on the ship is that this guy is no longer the captain of a ship.
So which one of us is going to be captain of the ship?
We'll work that out at a later date.
I don't know. That seems like something we should know before we steal the ship. Borrow the ship.
I don't know anything about captaining of ships, so I would not be throwing
I point at Havoc and I go, I know you're looking for a new ship.
One can never have too many sheep.
Ship, not shit.
I have many years' experience in captaining ship. It would be my pleasure to do so again. Where are we going with this ship is what I wonder.
We have a couple of choices to go with the ship after.
Step 1, get shipped.
Yeah, step 1, get shipped.
Step 1 was collect underpants. Maybe that was my plan.
Step 3 is profit.
I'm going to tell you right now that the ship does not have a lot of underpants, so you're going the wrong direction.
That makes 2 of us.
All right, I'll have to go upstairs and collect some then to be prepared.
Wait, you already have a room here?
Shot ship.
I have a room here, yeah.
Oh. Maybe we should use that room to make plans. I like plans.
You seem to be very technically inclined, little person. You are good also with these schematics.
Yeah, great with them. Blueprints, schematics, all sorts of stuff.
Can you do it based on description, or would you need to see this vessel?
No, I think I could work off description. I think I'm good. I'm good. I'm good at this.
And you, guy with plan. You are knowing what this ship is looking like to be able to explain to him?
Oh yeah, I would assume that having spent much time on the ship, I would know the ship.
All right.
Yeah,
All right, very well. We can use my room. As long as you all bring me some more sandwiches to go up with.
10 more sandwiches.
She's like, well, we're going to need to settle up on the first 10, but yes, still cutting.
And
I'll settle up with the sandwiches and meet everybody upstairs.
And I'll let them all settle up with
Thanks, dude. I'm gonna put my hand on. Thank you so much. I have no money. I'm from the woods.
Oh, I love it.
very glad this all worked out for you, Valerian.
You didn't hit the FATM before you came.
Oh, that's good.
I like it. That's worth experience points. That was good. Okay, so you guys are able to settle up for the sandwiches, and you all make your way up to Havoc's room. Where what are we doing? We're going to like recount the diagrams, the actual like the schematics of the ship, so that Gimble can draw them.
Yeah, we're gonna Ocean's 11 this shit.
11 section of this, where one of us gets folded up into a box. I'm voting.
Okay. I'm into it. I'm pretty impressed. Yeah, so you guys are all able to go like hide in Havoc's room. It's a little bit tight for 5 of you, but like not that tight, right?
Especially with Valerian in there.
Yes.
Well, actually, while I settle up with the sandwiches, I will inquire as if there are additional rooms for rent.
Oh yes, nicest rooms in all Port Herod. They are slightly more expensive, but
How are the pillows?
they're delightful, my dear Dragonborn. Delightful.
Love pillows. How many beds per room?
Well, we have 2 bedrooms and 1 bedroom.
You know what? If we could just rent another 2 rooms, that would be amazing.
Absolutely.
Out.
2 gold per room.
Okay. I will. I shove a small gemstone across the bar to her.
Ooh, do you? Okay, cool.
And making sure that no one, like the orc that was at the bar, that's out of sight of everybody.
Got it.
He's like,
Can I see if I might have noticed that?
You're upstairs.
I'm already
You
going.
can notice nothing.
Gotcha.
and I kind of lean in and go, keep those tasty sandwiches coming, Betty. And I wink.
She realizes your discretion, and you're surprised that she actually is able to follow suit and very deftly and quietly, like, makes the gem slide into her apron, like, oh, of course, young lady, you are more than welcome to stay for, well, as long as these last. She smiles at you. Okay, cool.
And I will head up with probably a sandwich in hand.
Meanwhile, in the bedroom,
I've grabbed one of the tables and we set it in the center of the room, and we're gonna have him carve it into the table.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
While he's
okay,
doing
go through
that,
it here with yeah.
While he does that, I'm gonna say, okay, before we get started, guys, does anyone have anything they need fixed? I can mend stuff. Like, I want to be at 100% before we go on to this, onto borrowing the ship.
Not really.
No? Can I make a perception check to see if anyone needs mending of any sort?
Sure.
Let's see. Perception.
I hope he doesn't see my broken heart.
Oh, that's.
I just hope he keeps his hand off my zipper. It's been stuck for a week.
There's 2 ways to play this, but I think that as you look at this stuff, you are dismayed and forlorn that they seem to have all brand new equipment, freshly built. I mean, there's really nothing wrong with any of this stuff.
Great.
As soon as he has that perception, I'll go, how are you with eyes?
Oh, that's a good question. Hold on.
Horrible.
Yeah, actually, No.
Wait, do you have mechanical eye building as a skill? Did you take that?
No. I was like looking at my restoration spells, but I don't know anything that can
I
help
think
him.
we need like full regeneration to grow his eye back.
Exactly.
Oh no, I have the eye of Mechna. That's not going to do.
Yeah. For real. That's pretty great.
Okay.
So what's the plan here as we're hunkered down in Havoc's room? What is it that we're trying to do exactly?
Well, what was the captain's name again? He introduced himself to me. Captain Coldblood?
Frostblood.
Frostblood. Yeah, okay.
Real he's a regular Killgrave, this fucking guy. Yeah.
Well, they're setting up this stuff. I'm going to lay out some parchment for Gimble to be able to work with.
Oh, excellent. Look at Havoc, fully prepared. You see him going to like an overfull like haversack of equipment and like meticulously take out the parchment for you that he lays out on this table.
Well, Frostblood's already expecting me on the Widowmaker tomorrow to whatever a pirate interview looks like. I don't know what to wear. And
have you ever been a part of a frat?
I grew up in a sort of sorority.
I was a mascot once. And I looked to Valerian. I'm assuming he would love to see you. You're so big. I assume that he would love to see you as well. And I look at the gnome and I'm like, we could come up with the reason why he'd want to see you.
Great mechanic for the ship.
That's not how ships work, friend.
Oh.
But baby, he doesn't know that. But Havoc, would he know you? Is there a chance that he would recognize you? You know your way around ships, you've said, and if he's like this big bad pirate, if you're of any renown, I don't know if he would have crossed paths with you before.
He knows the name of Havoc Scamos. He knows a good deal about helping people to get their goods from one location to the other. In this way, he may know me.
By name or by face?
Very few know my face.
Oh. So we are privileged few.
Feels so special. It warms my heart a little bit.
In terms of getting us there, like you said, he was recruiting, and that maybe we all could just show up. Step one.
I don't even have to bring you. You guys could just show.
Yeah.
I have an idea. I can sneak in under Berriluss' skirt.
That sounds uncomfortable for all involved.
I'll hug your leg and you can walk me in, and then I don't have to pose as anything because he'll look at me and he won't want me on the crew.
Is there a healer on the crew as it stands currently? There's a cleric, you said.
Yeah, just the one. Yeah.
Maybe he could be my wolf.
Oh.
I was thinking maybe a mouse.
Ooh, I could be a mouse. That's a good one too.
Or my mouse.
No, I'll be a wolf mouse. No, that I can't do.
How big is this gnome? Is he somebody that I might be able to like shove in my backpack as we went on board?
Yeah, it's close. It's very close. Yeah.
All right. Maybe you small creature could be in back of mine as we walk on board, eh?
Yeah, I'll turn into a koala bear and hide in your backpack.
A koala bear.
I don't know that is much smaller than you already are.
Oh, that's a good point. I'll turn into a smaller thing in your backpack.
Just make sure it's something that doesn't cheat.
How about a monkey? I could be a monkey, a little tiny monkey, and you give me a dagger just in case somebody tries to hurt us.
A monkey with a dagger is always. There's no danger there.
Do not look in backpack.
Mouse with a toothpick. How's that sound?
A mongoose toothpick?
Mouse.
Oh, a mouse with a toothpick. Yeah, I could do that.
Excellent. We have agreement then.
Okay, so we've got the parchment. Do you have
All right.
quill? Anyone have a quill?
I give him a quill so he can write with it. I go, okay. So you will get the schematics layout from this fellow here with all the information. My recommendation could be as simple as this. We should find out, number one, why they are here in port. Are they in the middle of the job? Are they looking for a job? Then number two, when it is clear that they need help in either one of these regards, we could walk straight up to them, and you all could be part of Havoc Scamos's crew in helping them to achieve or get the work they are looking for. What say you?
That's not me he's talking to.
Yeah.
I'm already part.
So we go up as a group that's pre-existing and offer our aid. Is that what you're saying?
Once we find out a bit of intelligence, that way we are coming up saying, we know you are looking for work. We have this job that needs to get done. We would like to hire you as the boat for us to get there. Or if they have job already, well, then we are the Havoc Scamos crew, and we will help them to achieve their goals, because I have a feeling some of the crew might go missing.
And then I jump out of your backpack and I chew through the rope that connects the ship to the dock. And then I turn back into myself, and then I use control wind and I blow us off into the ocean.
This is perfectly acceptable to me.
Go ahead.
The only sticking point is I've already met him and told him that I'm in town looking for work. So I might need to separate and just say,
I can turn you into a mouse.
No, I'm good.
If you're all you mentioned was that you were looking for work, right? You didn't exactly tell him that you weren't with anybody. You didn't say you were by yourself.
Well, I'd spent the several days coming up the coasts.
Fair enough.
Maybe I just hired you.
So I'm gonna look.
Sure.
Triple hire.
The bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. I knew I had an interview with him the next day, but I ran into you in the inn. You had something ready to offer me right there. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Excellent. All right. At this point, do I know anything about this ship in port? Do I know anything about this captain? Do I know if they've got a job going on or not, or do I need to go investigate?
So check it out. You know Frostblood's name. You know that he has ties to the Hoarfrost dynasty, to like the White Dynasty of Enidwraith, that he has like strong connections there. Because his first mate is this priest of the White Dragon, he gets away with a lot of shit. Even though he like robs the shit out of like their trade routes, like nobody's really gonna fuck with him because he's got this like high-ranking cleric kind of on board with him or whatever, right? So you also know that this guy here, Berriluss, is on his crew, and like he can offer you information, right, in terms of intelligence as to why they're here.
And I saw him meeting with the Black Dragonborn.
Yep, correct, Amundo.
But I don't know if Berriluss has told us that that's not part of his crew, but a onshore consort.
No, I would have.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, did I get that right? She's not part of the crew per se, but she's someone that he meets with in port.
Yeah, she's his partner in crime and love and whatever else, and she's not like full time on the boat. She's like an agent operating on the ground that he meets with when they port.
So he might be here to meet with her.
Mm-hmm.
That might be why he's in town.
So I'm gonna look around. Sorry, I'm gonna look around at all of them and be like, "Are we still trying to steal a ship? Which of these 8 plans will we choose? Why don't we steal the ship?"
Which plan do you like the best?
We pretend to be members. We don't know each other. We wait for the right moment. Then we kill them all and take the ship. Solid plan.
It doesn't get any more simple than that, really. Laid it out pretty succinctly.
I am for it.
I don't like killing. Just that's me. I mean, I'm okay with it if like somebody's trying to kill me, but preemptive killing, not really my thing.
Not always great for business, unless of course that's the business. Perhaps maybe there is a way. Like if we were wanting to walk on ship, smart guy, how would we do that? They are looking for work. They have work. Is there a secret handshake? How do we walk on your ship?
Pretty much. There's normally somebody waiting by the boat or waiting by the docks to get you over there. You just say you're trying to join up. Like you've heard that the captain's in and you want to join up.
Yeah. And I was just planning on taking finding a rowboat tomorrow and heading out there because I got the invite.
I mean, there's a couple that we've rowed in
dinghies
already. Yeah, little dinghies.
Hey,
a couple dinghies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you are docked here on business. You are docked here just to get more men. You are
we're in between jobs. We just finished one, so the ship is full of the loot. And he's here to get more men because the last job went a little southish.
Okay. All right. I am for this plan. When do we go?
I think that we'll go
tomorrow morning
in 10 minutes after our break because this is probably a good time for that, right?
Yeah, and we can go to sleep during our break and get ready for
absolutely. I mean, like any last beats we can tie up certainly when we come back. But yes, you guys will be able to rest, and then in the morning you can make your assault on the Widowmaker.
So Curt and Alan hang out with me, and Gabe and Alex and Rich, you guys take 5, and then we'll switch off. And
be right back.
Sounds good. I'll be back.
Okay.
Right.
So
Gabe, you look like you're just fine to stay there.
Well,
I got nowhere to go.
If you just want to hang out, you're welcome.
I am happy camper for sure.
So, Curt, what have you been up to lately? What's your what podcast have you been? What have you been up to lately?
Actually, just traveling a fair bit for work. So I'm still. My life right now is taken up with adjusting to jet lag, and I think after 2 weeks back, I've finally adjusted.
Nice.
That's nice. Yeah, I know. Good for me.
Yeah.
First world problems.
I hate jet lag so much. Like I have trouble sleeping anyway, so jet lag is like the worst.
Yeah, it's no bueno.
All right, dude, I'm gonna be real fast. Okay, I had to.
No worries. Were you doing the Top Chef podcast with Mike this season?
Yeah, Mike and Haley, and I had to cut out basically 2/3 of the way through the season because I think every Saturday for 4 consecutive weekends I was traveling abroad. So we had more than plenty of more than a handful of guests to come in and take my minuscule role on the podcast. So former contestants and such.
Who won the draft this year?
I did.
Nice.
Second year in a row.
Congrats.
I'm the Taron Armstrong of the Top Chef draft.
Did you who were your best point getters this season? Did you?
I had the winner. It's just one.
Winner take all.
Winner draft. And that's 2 years in a row that I was saved by Last Chance Kitchen.
Nice.
My first round first pick. I always go for anybody who's from Chicago, and so I picked Chef Joe. There was 2 Joes this season, so non-mustached
Joe Flam.
Joe Flam, and he got booted, but came back through Last Chance Kitchen and ended up taking it. So I haven't been on the podcast to be able to brag about that. Yeah, to gloat. So I just did a little bit on Twitter. So yeah, that's. I guess I sure can pick them.
Yeah, it was a pretty good season this year. I was I don't know. I haven't been the last few. I feel like even though the like chefs seem to be at like a higher caliber as it goes along, you know, you get like James Beard nominees and stuff. Like, I don't know, ever since like May 1, I haven't been like, I don't know, I haven't seen like a lot of food that I would be like interested in, like going out of my way to go to their restaurant, I guess. I don't know, personally.
Yeah, there was just a lot of fennel this season, and I'm just not a fan of fennel. And so I went off on that. Like, it seemed like the first 3 episodes, it seemed like every dish had fennel. I was like, there's nothing here I want to try. But they turned things around for me. So
yeah, there was also pasta this season too.
Well, yeah, that was largely, it wasn't that Bruce, I think, you did a lot of the pasta.
And
then they started
for Valentine's Day, we went to Bruce's restaurant in Pasadena, and it was pretty good.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Nice.
I liked Fabio's though a lot better, like because we live right around the corner from his restaurant in Toluca Lake, and man, like that shit was so good. Like, that's some of the best Italian food I've ever had. So Bruce was like, you know, Bruce's place is pretty good, not as good as Fabio's though.
Not as good as what? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, I had. I think I've been to one of Brooks' restaurants in Playa Vista, and then I went to John Tisar's restaurant in Dallas, and both were really, really amazing, and just really, really great meeting them as well.
Totally, yeah. We go to Michael Voltaggio's restaurant Inc. like once a month. Like, it's just, the food is so good, and like it's at the caliber of like a Jose Andres restaurant, like Bazaar or something, but the prices are so much better. So it's like, I think it's a pretty great value too. So anyone out there in LA, go to Inc. It's yummy.
Good to know.
Yeah.
You guys can take your break if you would like.
Okay.
I'm gonna go grab a cookie.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go grab a whole box of cookies.
Good choice.
Yeah, and we can talk about what's in the pipeline for TPK.
Yeah, I'm really excited about what's in the pipeline for TPK. I'm excited that we have this up and running. I love this group. It's going to be fun to have regular Tuesday Abrea shows. But what's next, John?
Yeah, like, so this show is going to be a lot of fun. Like, I think the seriousness of the campaign is, you know, it's not as serious. It's going to be a lot more playful, I think, especially with this cast. So we've got this show, and then we're going to be launching the RPG book club with Superpowereds in late April. So either the 20th or the 27th, depending on the our scheduling. So stay tuned for that announcement. Curt is going to be on the Superpowered or the book club podcast. Have you? I've heard you've been reading the book a bit.
I finished the first book.
What did there he goes. Man's good.
It's fun. Like, it's such a slow burn for me, but like, because I was listening to it on Audible. I don't know, like I told Rich the story, but I was listening to Superpowered on Audible on these long drives, and at first I was like barely paying attention, and then I think it was like the beer pong tournament or the river trip, and like something clicked, and from then on, like, the series was like, it's just become one of my favorites, and like the books get better and better, kind of like Harry Potter as it goes.
When I just read the overview, I think it was, it might have actually been, I don't know if it was free on Kindle, the first book, but just from like descriptions, like, oh, this is going to be kind of standard light fantasy that I can, or sci-fi, whatever you want to categorize it, that I can, modern fantasy that I can breeze through. Like, probably going to be about 210 pages, and I download it. It's like 734 pages, like to the point where the author is apologizing for the length of the book in the preface. I'm like, oh wow. Okay.
It's the shortest one too, because it was a web serial.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's what he said. He explained that. But like I said to Rich, I was like, luckily he puts like a extra space between every single paragraph, so the 734 pages actually was probably more like 400 or 500.
Right.
So Alan, you're not going to approve of this. So I have a protein cookie, which is the first problem.
That is the first problem.
The second problem is it's going to be backwards probably on the screen, but it's not a chocolate chip cookie. It's, I don't know if you can see that.
God, no!
Chocolate chip flavored.
Who eats a Quest cookie? What the hell?
I have Quest of sorts.
I have that's true. Yes,
Look, mine are actually kind of healthy too. Mine are like pecans, oats, and sunflower seeds with chocolate chunks.
And I like how just they reassure you, but don't worry, it's soft and chewy. Trust us. Trust
Yeah.
us.
We put enough chemicals in this that it didn't form hard.
I have like 17 different subscription boxes, and a couple of them are like health, like fitness supplement subscription boxes, and this was in there, and I just noticed it's chocolate chip flavored with other natural flavors.
Natural.
Oh boy.
It's
How's that cookie?
It's pliable.
The chocolate
Pliable. It's pliable, says the man. I
So
love
that's
it.
like
Quest is never going to sponsor this show. I apologize, guys.
it's the cookie that you get when you create food and water. It's that cookie.
Yeah, it's
that exact description.
It's like the necromantic version of Goodberry. It's bad cookie. And
That's pretty good.
Can I add
no
that
glue-
to my first
but-
level spells now?
yes, bad cookie, and Goodberry.
Yeah, exactly. It's a cantrip. It's a
By the way,
cantrip.
no gluten. And just in case you're curious, the health listing here, it's per cookie. In case there was any confusion,
Instead of per chocolate chip flavor.
Yeah, right.
serving size, 1 cookie. Well, thank you. And they got the little blurb on the back. Blah 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 blah. But you've read enough. Reward yourself with a cookie. This cookie.
That's good.
Can't reward myself with a good cookie. It's got to be the sad cookie.
I do, and I have like Girl Scout Thin Mints in the freezer.
Oh, those
Oh,
are good
man.
cookies.
Those are
So-
my
And
you're going for that?
favorite.
I like to save the best for last.
Oh, okay.
But it's soft and pliable, so I don't crunch on microphone.
But you also should put things where they belong, and that quest bar should be in the trash.
Ruthless. This guy's brutal. Guy is brutal.
Notice I'm not disagreeing.
So, Alan, how much? How's the streaming going over here on Twitch? Actually,
Well, there's a cookie in my mouth.
oh, I didn't take a bite.
It's all good. It goes. I stream when I stream. Still don't really have a schedule for it. Kind of waiting to get a job for now. So
What have
Stream
you
when I
been
can-
streaming? Mostly Fortnite these days?
no, it's still mostly PUBG. I'm gonna start doing Fortnite more, like every other. Do a switchback.
Why has Fortnite taken over that? Like, I hear way more about Fortnite than PUBG at this point. Is that
Because
Well,
it
yeah,
runs
I mean-
better.
it's better?
It runs better.
Yeah.
What do you play on?
PC. Everything's on PC. Except for when I play Pocket Tournament. That's on the Switch.
I love my Switch. I've been playing Pokemon Sun and Moon a lot on DS lately. I love because I'm traveling, so I have all my games, but I don't
Those
know.
are
Those
pretty good
Pokemon
ones.
games are addictive.
Oh yeah.
I tried streaming on Twitch once, gameplay, and I just failed completely. And so, like this, and I feel so self-conscious upon reflection that it's me alone in my living room, talking to my PS4, and like none of it ended up recording.
Well,
Yep.
at least none of it ended up recording. I've spent most of my life with me sitting in a room talking to my computer anyway, so I may as well record it.
I think I was playing Paranormal Activity VR. So there was parts where I was literally like yelling in surprise and shrieking like a cheerleader.
I've definitely cried out in total fear playing PUBG, just getting surprised by somebody around the corner. Oh my god! There was one day where I was getting scared like every 2 seconds. I was just jumpy that day.
I've been terrified playing PUBG, and sometimes you can catch me on Alan's stream as well. And I'm the worst, man. I'll get into like looting mode and be like running around, feeling all like safe and secure. Like, yeah, it's a nice place, this island. Everything is great. I got all these guns. Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm like screaming like a little girl while they shoot at me. It's so great. I love it.
That's awesome.
I think part of the Fortnite craze too is just that it's such a different like format for that style of game. The FPS games got big, like PUBG has been like king of the hill for a year now, which is like a long time in the gaming world. And now you have this thing coming in where it's like three-dimensional and you're building and there's so much more dynamicism to the fights.
Where am I hearing these patings from?
Yeah.
Ding.
Okay. Okay. So.
Oh, I saw a shadow pass by Gabe's
Yeah.
camera.
We'll,
Oh, there it is again.
We'll get started, and he can jump in when he gets back.
In the room. It's okay. There he is.
Huzzah!
Yay!
Returns. So.
I had to get a snack.
Did you have a chocolate chip flavored cookie?
That sounds delightful.
Doesn't it? You'd be right.
You would be wrong.
I'd have to go back and rewatch the stream to get the final conclusion. But so you guys spend the evening concocting your plan, debating the merits and flaws of the various options which each of you has presented, while Valerian smashes sandwiches and so if there's any
They're
like,
good,
last
right?
things I'd like to do.
Delicious.
Can I roll to see like how good or bad my rendering of the schematics for the ship ended up as we went
Yeah,
through?
absolutely you can. I just want to reevaluate before you make this roll. What's the intention of the schematics here? I got lost along the way somewhere. I don't really know what the plan
I thought we were
is
gonna
or
like
what
sneak
the
in and
like-
stuff and like have like
It's
a
to
map
keep
of it.
the gnome busy.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Now
So-
trace the schematics.
yeah, exactly. Now color it in between the lines.
Yeah.
So
Scale it down 5%.
to that end, John, go ahead and you can roll with your tinkerer's tools with intelligence.
Oh. Okay.
So it'll query when you check. Yeah, right. Cool.
And while he's
Excellent.
doing that, I'll just double check from my knowledge of boats to see that all the different parts are there. It's like functional, the cabins are where they should be, that kind of thing.
There are
It's like a
wheels.
It's
The
a little.
wings are probably unnecessary.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
Berriluss was helping me, right? He was describing it.
Like, would I roll against like my vehicles of water?
No, you don't even have to make a roll because there's no like jeopardy, in other words, of like what you're doing. Like, so you're able to like assess, and you could see like, yeah, this guy doesn't really know his way around a boat. Is kind of what's happening. It's not terrible. It's a pretty like it's a rendition of a boat to be sure, but you don't think of the things that he does know how to build boats. Probably hasn't built a lot of those.
Or like a little happy sun in the corner of the drawing, or
I don't know. He's pretty serious about his work, so I'm not sure.
And then before we go to sleep for the night, I want to tinker, and because I gave away my duck, I want to see if I can make another little toy.
Oh, okay, sure.
Dibs on not rooming with the gnome.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, you just spend 1 hour and 10 gold pieces worth of materials, and you can build the toy.
Okay. That's what I would like to do.
Okay, so you build yourself a new walking clockwork toy.
It looks like a little boat.
Excellent. I love it.
The rendition of a boat, or what a boat should look like?
Yeah, it's like what the boat I think looks. What I think a boat.
Okay, cool. So you guys are able to sleep, rememorize your spells, get your hit points back, of which I don't believe anyone lost any. And so the morning arises. And fortunately for you guys, Ghedaar got a couple of rooms, which was very kind of him. And there's beds for all. And so, yeah, the morning rolls in. And is there anything like special, any routines that you guys have in the morning?
Well, I have to do my portent and get my 2d20s.
Oh, so the portent occurs. Roll 2d20s, Berriluss.
Wow.
Ooh, that's interesting. 18 and a 5.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Got one high, one low.
That's what you want.
Quite the diviner we have here. Okay, excellent. So you look into the future and you see moments that have not yet occurred. And you find yourself prepared for them. Cool. So the rest of you guys memorize your spells. So what's the plan from here? How do we want to proceed, gentlemen?
And just so it's clear, Rich, I do have and have had. Hang on, your face is blocking my list. Scorching Ray is in my sword.
Got it. Excellent. Cool. Scorching Ray, charged up, ready to rock.
I'm going to look around to the guys and just be like, let nature protect you. And I'm going to cast Aid on the Assimar, the Tiefling, and the Gnome.
Oh.
Mm.
So is that 5 temporary hit points?
5 hit points increase your maximum.
Okay.
There you go.
Excellent. Cool. Yeah. And so, you can put it in temporary hit points, you guys, and it'll track on the tokens. All right. So, yeah, Valerian blesses you guys with the protection of his Fey Lord, whoever mysterious figure that might be. And you feel bolstered and strengthened by his magic. And so you regroup and you're munching sandwiches off the heaping platter that was left over from the night before. How do we proceed?
Guys, I swam here from a really far away, and I wasn't able to bring, things that I might need for this. And I'm going to be a monkey with a dagger, so I need to go get a dagger. Do any of you guys have one or know where we can get one?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were going to be a mouse.
With a toothpick.
With the toothpick.
Oh, does anyone know where I can buy a toothpick and a dagger? Because I might need it.
I bet you Betty's got a toothpick.
I bet you Betty's got a dagger. Let me go talk to Betty.
So just so you know, as part of my background, Rich, when I attempt to learn or recall a piece of... Oh, never mind. It's just lore, not information. Okay.
Research, yeah.
So that doesn't include, locations and stuff, right? Just, history?
Yeah, it's research, it's knowledge. It would be about history or arcana or, any number of other things like that, right? Nature, all those kind of, intelligence-related checks.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Did the sandwiches come with cutlery?
They didn't, but she would have given you a knife if you wanted one, sure.
I will get a steak knife or whatever from Betty, and I will approach Gimble and here for the monkey. And I
knight him with it. Knight him with it.
Yes, bow down before me, monkey.
So I'll say, Valerian, can you pick me up?
Sure.
Okay. When he picks me up, then I'm going to cast Wild Shape on myself and turn myself into a mouse. And then I'll open my mouth for the knife.
Okay. Rich, I run my fingers over the blade and I cast, even though it's not the intent of the spell, I cast Lightning Lure as a cantrip. But just to have electricity run over the blade of the knife, just to look like I'm doing something with it. And then I make a show of that, and then I hand the steak knife to the mouse. I place it in the mouse's mouth.
Yeah, Valerian's holding it delicately between his two fingers. This little mouse that grabs the knife with its teeth, and it's all you can do to keep your neck holding this knife. Oh, John, it's pretty heavy. But so you got the knife clenched in your teeth. You're just yeah.
Don't stab the giant.
My visions tell me that's going to be really effective. I see this in the future.
I give a knowing nod to you and wink a little.
Oh yeah, I like me some winking.
Okay, so mouse with a knife.
Check.
All right, I'm all geared up, so I'll put the backpack on. All right, mousey boy, you can get in here.
Right, so I'll pick the mouse up and then just put it into his backpack, and I'll take the knife and I'll just put it back down on the table.
Okay, I got it. Okay, sounds good. Hold on one second. I'm just looking for one thing here. Oh gosh, what did I do? All right,
I'll actually pocket the knife because you never know.
Oh,
Sure.
pocket knife.
Exactly.
Pocket knife.
While we're traveling, I want to rummage through the backpack and see what I can find.
Oh God, there's so many things. Make an investigation.
You know what they say about when you put a mouse in your backpack?
20.
Havoc quickly regretting this plan. In the backpack, as you begin to rifle around through it, you find a set of dice. You find a crystal flute. There's all kinds of tools, man. There's so many tools. You love tools, Gimble?
Yeah.
You love this guy's backpack because, man, the tools. He's got like navigator's tools. He's got tinker's tools. He's got thieves' tools. Whoa! Hey, there's playing cards and a spyglass. There's a grappling hook in here. Flasks, fishing tackle, chalk. Well, look at this chalk.
Okay. Great.
So, you guys, the badass 4 that you are, plus a mouse with a knife, or a mouse who wants a knife.
Who wants a knife?
You make your way down through Port Herod. You're walking through the very well-lined streets of this granite city, this small granite city as it is. As you guys are kind of heading down, you turn and take in the town behind you, and you could see now in the daylight of the morning, right, the quarries further up the mountainside where the granite is cut and pulled down, and there's a couple of big barges that are out in the bay, right up on the actual docks, right? And these barges are an important part of the local economy. They take the granite cuts from the quarry and they bring them out into the dynasties for trade. But even more importantly to the local economy, they are slow and plodding. And so when they return with their holds filled with gold for selling all the granite, they're often a source of pirate attacks and hijackings and whatnot. That's part of the reason that folks like Captain Frostblood are able to ply their trade in this part of the world, you know. And as you take in the town, you could see there's one large house, looks almost palatial, far bigger than most of the other dwellings in the city. And it's the mayor's home, the magistrate's home. And you could see on the 3rd story of this building, which is kind of like in the highest tier of the city, up above everything else, looking down into the bay, there's a figure standing on the balcony at a great distance from you, you know, half a mile, 3/4 of a mile back on the other side of town. But you could see him in the sunlight, arrayed in this kind of white plate mail that he's wearing, leaning out, taking in the town and the settlers who live here beginning to go about their day. And so with that, as you guys see this figure, the mayor, magistrate, whoever he may be, who administrates this place for the Hoarfrost dynasty, you make your way down to the docks. And there's all manner of small boats, small fishing boats heading out. There's kind of ferry people. There's a couple of boats making their way out already towards the pirate ship. And you see actually a ship that's heading towards the Widowmaker, not a ship, but a rowboat. And you can see a couple of figures in it rowing, and it's moving very slowly. And there's this one very massive, hulking form in this rowboat. It feels like at this distance it's hard to gauge, but this could be even as big as Valerian himself.
No.
Person in the boat. But
that's who you really saw in your dream. It wasn't me.
Well, you know, honest mistake.
Sorry.
You just happened to be with the 3 other people that I needed, so
Pure coincidence.
you are along for the ride now.
I think I'm in the wrong story.
And so you guys make your way down to one of the rowboats that's like tethered to the dock. This is one of the rowboats that you brought in last night, Berriluss. And so with this motley team assembled around you, you guys are able to file into this rowboat and begin making your way out to the Widowmaker, anchored as it is about a quarter mile off the shore of the city.
Now, does the boat have to make a weight check?
No. You're all good. It's not
Okay.
that big. It might if you had like a full team, but there's only 5 of you in here, and one of you is a mouse, so it's
Fair
fine. And so the boat, you guys row. You row your way out to the Widowmaker, and as you're approaching, you could see some of the crewmen, familiar faces to you, Berriluss, kind of eyeing you guys over, and you see one of them turn, and you can kind of hear his voice over the sound of the waves crashing against the side of the ship and your oars cutting into the water as he calls out, "Frostblood!" He says, "The Diviner's coming back with what looks like a boat of recruits. Big one in there, big one too, and a Dragonborn." And so with that, like one of the other pirates, they kind of throw a rope over the edge of the ship as you guys pull the rowboat up to the edge, and you're able to tie it off real quickly. And then there's the netting coming down the side for all of you to climb your way up into the ship proper.
All right.
Test number 1.
Is that an athletics check, or we just climb?
Yeah, roll athletics checks with advantage, let's say. The first part of your interview.
Watch me fail this.
You have
Yes.
advantage as you climb
I
the
killed
rope.
it.
It's a netting rope, so it's cool.
Ha!
With advantage. 14.
Oh, okay.
Oh, come on. 14, 26, 26. 21. Got it. All of you guys are able to shimmy up. We just need Gimble, who we don't need because he's a mouse in a backpack. And so, the 4 of you easily climb up the netting, pulling yourselves up the side of the slick ship. You're able to turn down and take in the burned-in name Widowmaker along the bow, or along the hull up near the bow. You see the sight of the finely carved wooden dragon head prow covered in the thin bit of ice, because it's still cold enough in the spring here in the Har for us to see that that ice holds itself tight to the figurehead on this ship. And so climbing up onto the deck, you see quite a sight that you take in. And with that, we will go to the map, because why not?
Not
Initiative.
fun.
Well.
Whoa, that thing's big.
Is big, isn't it?
Looks
He's
a little
huge.
familiar, Richard.
Does look remotely familiar. There will be some familiar faces as we go here. Okay. Havoc.
Oh no, this is much different.
Not here. Okay. Okay. So
I was getting airship flashbacks, John.
Yeah, exactly.
that's hilarious. So the 4 of you climb your way up the side of the ship, and you take in this sight around you. You see a group of pirates, 5 or 6 of them. You see the white Dragonborn, Captain Frostblood himself. He wears no armor. He wears leather breeches from his waist down, and he has like a couple of bandoliers slung about his chest. He carries on his person a massive like hooked maul. It's a maul that's got like a hook sticking off the bottom, the haft of the weapon. Standing next to him is a figure that you've never seen before, Berriluss. This man, he's never been on this ship before. You get the impression that the captain must have brought him back last night or this morning as it stands. But he seems arcane in his trappings. He wears a black robe, and he holds a staff that is trimmed almost in this green that you can't tell if it's algae or perhaps some type of plant life that's growing on it, or you're not exactly sure at all. And then there's the rest of these pirates, Frostblood's personal guard, who are bigger and kind of tougher than the other pirates on the ship. Over here on the stairs is his first mate, Avila Karsh. priestess of the White Dragon, of Enid Wraith herself, and standing here, looming over the entirety of the scene, is this abomination of a creature. It looks like the pieces of human beings which have been dismembered, severed, and ripped from bodies of various people have been reassembled and sewn back together in some kind of macabre visage of this hulking golem of flesh. So as the four of you climb up, and Frostblood himself, the White Dragonborn, takes all of you in, he looks to you, Berriluss Cosmos, and he says, "These are good recruits you've brought back here for us, Diviner. This one, the Bronzeborn, I met myself yesterday and immediately saw his potential. But, as you can see, I too have found new acquisitions for our coterie of sailors. Why don't the rest of you introduce yourselves?"
Yes, let's start over here. And I just point at the end, whoever's standing on the end opposite Havoc. I'm starting away from Havoc.
The guy next to you is Ghedaar.
There you go.
Well, we've met already, so I don't see the need to go through the pleasantries again. But yeah, I went to the inn, like you said, and your or like I said, and your ship mate here, your crewman, walked in shortly thereafter and corroborated your story. Not that I needed your story corroborating, but
of course not. This one has proven very valuable. Isn't that right, Cosmos?
Yeah, I know things.
Sees things, and they are true.
Did you? I'll ask the captain. Did you find who you were looking for?
Some. This is Radic the Magi, an old associate who sailed with me before you joined our ship, Cosmos. He will be a worthy addition to rejoin our ranks.
That's the mage?
Yeah, this creepy looking mage standing next to him just kind of like nods. And as he does, like the cowl of his hood kind of slips back a little bit and you could see his face underneath. And you see his skin is like sallow and sickly, almost green tinted, green hued, and not in the healthy way of Valerian's hair or something like that. Not the green of like healthy growing plants, but the green of sick and infection and rot. And he's got this frazzled kind of grayed out beard, wild and unkempt, sticking out. But he just kind of like nods at you, eyeing you suspiciously, this mage. Radic.
Can I use my detect magic and combination with my perception to see, like, does he have anything active right now, or is he preparing anything behind his back? Anything?
Sure. So check it out. Detect magic does have somatic and verbal components. So I would say make like a stealth check.
Because I don't actually have it.
Oh, right. The eye patch. Okay, then you don't have to cast the spell. And so you activate the eye patch. And as you scan, you see that the wizard, Radic, is definitely carrying an enchantment on him now. You see abjuration magic about him, which is protection. And so you can assume he has some kind of magical ward up on himself. And there's also a wand just kind of protruding out from the edge of his cloak that you see glowing at his belt, clearly enchanted, an item of magic on his person. Frostblood himself, the captain, he has no enchantments on himself, but you can see that he has a knife at his belt that is enchanted.
A steak knife?
Not a steak. There's a series of knives actually on his belt, and then another like row on like a bandolier strapped across his chest. And you know well, Berriluss, that he loves like throwing knives at people as he boards ships. You know, he's
cutting
out
cheese.
shot. Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Rich, given that we've seen the other kind of quote unquote standard crewmen come into the bar with Berriluss, are the people that are on either side of the captain and the mage, are those just also could look like just some of the standard crewmen? Him and the one on the far left with the bow.
This guy with the bow, the guys with the bow look like very typical and standard compared to the guys you saw last night. These big burly dudes with the two swords, they look like they're bigger, tougher, stronger. They're stronger. They're much like obviously more like hulking and tougher, right?
Okay. I kind of like lean my head a little bit to the left so that my aquamarine studded sword has a clear view of this entire tableau of people on the opposite side of the ship. And I kind of cough a little bit to mask what sounds like the sound that your phone takes when it takes a picture? It's like, and just and just kind of go back to normal. It's barely perceptible.
I love it. Okay. So yes, Ghedaar has introduced himself. Valerian.
I'm Valerian. I'm here to help you on your ship.
At this point, he can't help himself. Frostblood takes 2 steps forward, and he stands kind of gazing up at you, taking you in, Valerian, and he says, "You seem like you would be the most excellent pirate, Valerian. Can you swim in all that steel?"
I've never tried, but perhaps. Is that deception?
Yeah, sure.
That'd be deception.
If you're straight lying, yeah.
Yeah, I'm straight lying.
Yeah, then just give it to him.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. He does not have any kind of... Okay, let's give it to him. Here's his insight roll. He very much is just like, "Well, don't worry. I'll be sure to have it dredged up from the sea bottom if we do lose you overboard, big man. You seek to fight, then?"
Yes.
Good.
Do your eyes shift back and forth like they just did on the screen?
No.
He says, "You'll be just perfect. And what of you, strange one?" And he looks to you on the end, Havoc.
I blow into the flute in the bag.
Okay, you hear the sound of a very kind of strange, it's like this tiny mouse lung full of air is forced through this crystal flute in the backpack. Yeah, you hear it distinctly, Havoc. Is that my flute?
I am very handy with things, and I want to help you. My name is Scamos Havos.
How you say?
Yeah. Real excited to be here.
Go ahead and roll a deception check. as you give him the bullshit. He is not a particularly perceptive individual. Ooh. Slim here, though.
Ooh.
Hey!
Oh.
He turns and kind of takes in your eye, cocks his head a little bit and looks at you, Berriluss, "This one leaves something to be desired, but I suppose if he can hold a sword, that's enough of a start."
I love to hold all kinds of things.
It's Havoc's Gamos Bartakamas.
It was his brother's boat that he wanted to come along.
At this point, you see these others, Avila, the priest over here, standing kind of up on the staircase, kind of taking you guys in. And she just shrugs sort of absently when he glances at her Frostblood. And so then he turns and looks back like, all of you are ready then to start.
I have to talk about the elephant in the room. Who's your friend here? The large guy, the big guy. This is awesome.
Acquisition. My associate, who you saw briefly last night, has many contacts in the dynasties. She has been working on acquiring this magnificent specimen for many moons. Things will be much easier on the seas with this at our side, won't they, Cosmos? Surely you have seen my great victories yet to come.
I kind of usher and take a half step, like my foot out toward the thing, and I look at the captain like, may I? Like indicating I kind of want to get a closer look.
Oh, please, do take it in.
I just kind of step up here and just kind of...
Revel in his splendor.
Does it look like so it looks like skin stitched together? Does it look like different kinds of skin?
Yeah, definitely. Like, as you're looking closely at it, they're all like different shades and complexions and sizes. These are definitely from like different people, though you would presume most of them were probably mostly human.
I thought you were going to say mostly dead.
Probably.
What's your name, big guy? Does he respond?
I call it Breaker. He thinks that's clearly very clever. It serves me completely.
Can you crawl out of the backpack now?
I head back to the line.
Sure, you're a mouse.
Yeah.
You come crawling out of the backpack?
Yeah, I want to head for the rope that's tied the ship to... or just like, I want to look around for a rope to chew through. I don't really know what it does.
You're trying to remain hidden?
Yeah, I want to be stealthy about this.
Okay, roll a stealth check with advantage, because mouse.
To be fair, that was one of the 20 plans.
I know. I recall. I definitely recall.
13.
Okay, excellent.
70% of the plans have entered phase 2.
I love it. So, kid, like,
I'm gonna...
yes.
Go ahead.
You begin, like, you slip out of Havoc's pack, and you're able to make your way down his fur-lined cloak onto the deck of the ship below.
Where this is going on?
Yeah. What's your passive perception, Havoc? It's going to say underneath your skills on your character sheet. Underneath that skill list, right after your stats, is passive perception. Oh, I see it. It's 20. So yes.
Oh, yeah.
There, it's going there. Yes.
I was trying to make it roll. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. So the idea is just as like a heads up, right? Good learning curve. Your passive perception is just your perception score as though you had rolled 10 on the 20-sided. And this is a way that, like, if I'm trying to sneak up on you with enemies and stuff, I can measure against that number, right? So yeah. That said, you totally notice the mouse climbing out of your backpack and down your cloak.
No, with the stabby.
and so Gimble the mouse, you hit the deck, and man, it's dangerous down here. There's water, and it's really just a tiny bit, but you're a mouse, and so like you're like like making your way through like the small pools of water that have pooled up on the deck with low spots. But you do spy all number of ropes. I mean, like, there are ropes. You're looking for a rope that goes off the hull, though, over the edge.
Yeah, sure. Any
Just a
rope.
rope.
Just the closest
Any
rope
rope.
that looks useful.
Okay, so you climb yourself up on the edge, like right over here, right?
Okay.
Right, like the top of that staircase, and begin gnawing on like a heavy piece of hempen rope that you find. And it tastes very salty and a little bit like gross, slimy plants, but that's okay. It's mostly rope. So yeah, that happened.
Is it rope flavored?
So Frostblight is kind of watching Ghedaar as he like is checking out this golem over here.
I stepped back in line.
Okay. You did step back in. Okay.
I'm gonna use Divine Sense.
Mm-hmm.
Just to like see what I'm dealing with here.
Divine Sense, presence of strong evil, blah 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 blah. Open your awareness. Yep.
It's Fey, undead.
Okay. There are no celestials, fiends, or undead on this ship. This thing is technically a construct, so it's not really undead. So no, you're good.
Okay.
You could tell it's
unclear.
fucked up.
Did we come up with like a key word like
No.
what
No, there's no high sign.
We got nothing.
is
I think that this is like standard D&D planning, which is like you talked about a bunch of plans, you didn't commit to anything, and now we're so like
We didn't take into account the consideration that additional evil-looking recruits would potentially be on board.
So I think you're all kind of like anxiously and like all realizing this at the same time, like shit. Like, how are we going to start this? Like, we're not. And so, yeah, you're like standing in line.
I just walk over here. I start walking this way. So what's under here? I say to the captain.
He says, well, that's the hold of the ship and my quarters.
And your what? Your quarters?
My quarters. Do you want a tour?
Yes.
Should give all the new recruits a tour, I think.
Take them downstairs.
It sounds like less like a tour and more like a threat when you phrase it that way.
Everything sounds like a threat when you're a good pirate, Captain. Also, when your voice sounds like this.
Does it look like the construct could even fit down there?
No.
Okay, that's good.
It looks like it could squeeze down there. Yes, I'm lying. Like, it definitely could fit if it was, like, okay. But it's not, like, easily going to move through the staircase, in other words. But, yes, it could squeeze through this staircase. And so they bring you guys downstairs. And Gimble, you, like, as you're chewing on the rope, turn and you realize, like, they all just walk down below deck.
I want to, like... Just let me know when I'm done cutting through that rope, and then I'll look for another rope to chew through.
Okay, yeah. So you've just finished that rope, and you realize, like, oh shit, dude, there's another rope like right next to me. So you go to that rope and like start chewing on that one. Yeah.
Keep doing it. Yep.
Okay, you just rope chewing.
Rope chewing as much as possible.
Are they hempen ropes?
So as they bring you down,
like getting high as I go through.
Yeah, for real. As they bring you downstairs, you guys see that there's 3 more crew members sitting over here at a table in the front end of the ship. You can hear them like talking from where you are, like laughing boisterously and whatnot.
Is there a map of below decks here?
It's below
it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. Zoom out the map a little bit. Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So in total, how many crew have we seen other than the captain, the first mate, the mage, and the construct?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then these 3 is 8.
Yeah.
Is the captain's quarters that kind of like in the back behind the dining area there?
Yep. Yes.
As soon as I recognize an opportunity to disappear from the group and head in that direction without being noticed, I'm going to take it.
Okay, sure. So to that end, like this guy is like pointing out, like there's all hammocks hanging in this general area, and he kind of like walks you guys up to the prow and is yes.
Can I make an insight check to glean that Havoc is looking for an opportunity to take off?
Sure, make an insight check.
Oh shit. 13.
13. I don't think you necessarily notice it. But that said, these guys step forward a little bit, and Havoc, like you see a window. You're gonna what? Try to help?
Oh yeah, I was gonna try to provide a distraction, but I don't. I'm slow on the pickup.
So Havoc, you can make a stealth check to try to slip away.
Okay.
Come on. Yes.
4.
Noise.
You're out. You're gone.
Let's see. Is Berriluss with us down here? Did you join us?
Yeah.
On the you're part of the tour? Okay.
Yeah, he's the bad guy there. So the three of you are in this main room. Havoc, you're able to slip back. You want to try to make your way into this captain's chamber?
Yeah.
Okay. The first door opens easily, and as you open it and slip into the room, you're surprised by the sight of one more guard who's like sitting here, or pirate, I should say. He's sitting here in this chair, passed the fuck out. His head is like lolled back against the wall. There's an empty rum bottle on the table, and you can see that he's still just like zonked from the night before, leaning up against the wall, snoring. And so then as you come in, this is like an open connected area to the captain's quarters. There's just like a riser lifting up to where the bed is, and a chest at the foot of the bed.
Okay. Is there anything in particular that stands out in the captain's quarters that would be of interest or use or anything like that?
There's nothing obvious out in the open. Actually, next to the bedstand here, you do see some like maps in scrolls, some scroll tubes, and kind of like this stack of kind of like tubes, a pyramid of tubes mounted against the wall. There are maps, and then there's the chest at the foot of the bed.
Is the chest locked? Is it ajar?
Chest is locked. Yeah, you see the hasp closed and a big like heavy lock in it.
Okay. I'll leave that. I'll take the chair at the far end of the table very quietly, not to wake the dude up. I'm going to put my helmet on.
Okay.
And kind of just adjust my clothing so it looks a little bit different than I had it before. So I'll pull out like the furs and stuff, and I'll
got it.
The helmet on, and I'm gonna assume my other identity at this point. And I'm just gonna kind of kick back. If there's like a drink or some meat or something like that around, like I'll make sure I've got a big thing, and I'm gonna put my feet up on the table and wait for them to make their way back this way.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, cool. So you sit down at the table, you grab the bottle of rum off it. Okay, meanwhile, out here, this crewman like brings you guys up into the nose of the ship and like introduces you to these three guys. Berriluss, you obviously already know them. And then he's like, yeah, well, that's about it then. I mean, it's, it's the hold of a ship. It's about all we got here. We got these hammocks. That's where you all sleep.
I look around for where there might be stored vast storages of wealth. Do I see like any sort of trap door to like even lower level, or a hold? That's something that's formerly a hold? Or
yes, there is actually. So there's all manner of things in here. You see, this hold is like pretty full, man.
Oh, okay.
There's all like casks of wine here and barrels and crates over here on the other side. But there is a hatch like right over like here in the back that leads to like just a straight cargo hold underneath, you figure.
Okay.
But there is a hatch there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is certainly where are your quarters? Do you just kind of take are those hammocks in the back there, or sorry, in the bow?
There's hammocks all up through here
okay.
and in the bow. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And so the crewman is just like, only the captain has his own quarters. Rest of us all sleep out here in these hammocks.
It seems like, have you approached him about doing that on some sort of like rotating basis? I'm just curious.
Does he look very approach? And then he realizes who he's talking to. No, I haven't approached him. No, maybe you could take care of that for us.
If you want me, like, if I become, one of your colleagues, I'd certainly broach the topic if you'd like. I mean,
well, he sure as hell ain't doing it, and he points over at Berriluss. So yeah, sure, I'd appreciate it. We've been some friends right quick.
Okay, just curious. Sorry. Shall we head back up? Did we notice that he's gone? That
yes,
Havoc is gone.
Now you realize Havoc is gone. Okay. Yes.
Not saying a thing. So, anything else to show us, or is this pretty much it?
No, that's about it. It's the hold of a ship. Ain't much more down here. Just the hammocks and whatnot.
So this is part of the captain's quarters, this back room?
Yes.
Okay.
And like some of the crew are allowed to like hang out in there and use the table, right? Especially like his personal squad. I'm sorry. So as you guys start making your way back up, you see that the door to the captain's quarter is ajar.
Hey, what's through there?
As you look in, you see where did Havoc go? I lost him.
No, he's right there, isn't he?
He's just right there in the corner.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Sneaking.
Yeah.
You roll a good stealth roll, remember?
Yeah, Rich failed his perception check.
You see this figure inside the room. You see like one of the crewmen who you recognize, Berriluss, but there's another person there. What does it look like, Havoc?
Basically, he's back at the end of the table with his feet up, and he's drinking the rum straight from the bottle. And he goes, "Welcome to my ship, boys."
Right, and so this guy is like wearing like this big, like heavy kind of like black helmet with like these horns curling up off of it, like ram's horns almost off the edges.
Do we recognize him as Havoc?
This is where we should start rolling like disguise checks and insight checks, I guess. Roll a deception check, Havoc, and all you guys roll insight. 21.
What the
Whoa.
No, you absolutely do not recognize him as Havoc.
Okay, there it is. Huh. Who's that? that doesn't look like your captain.
I am now. I recently acquired this lovely boat. You may know me as the pirate Darkspawn.
You know that name immediately when he says it, Berriluss. It's like Darkspawn, and you're like, yes. Yes, it's happening.
So I'll look over to Berriluss and just be like, things have gotten very strange.
No, this is good.
You boys, because you look like a bunch of good new recruits. You see, a ship can't have two captains. I think we're going to need to get rid of the old one. He's starting to smell.
What's this crewman that's been with us this entire time doing?
Shitting himself?
He it's just like now, like as this is happening, he's like, wait a minute, Dad. And you see he's about to like raise the alarm. Like all this is dawning on him. He hasn't really been paying attention. Like he seems hungover and like pissed off. Yes. Okay. Yes, this is him like behind. And so he's hearing the words from like the bottom of the stairs. I'm just going to move you guys a little bit just to facilitate. He's at like the bottom of the stairs, right? Hearing these words. And it's just like, wait, who is that? Hold on a second. I'm going to go upstairs and get the captain.
Hey, my salty sea dog brother. You've already found the captain. It's a very simple decision for you now. All you got to do is lie low, let us take care of the rest. And afterwards, you're going to have a lot of money and a very good job.
Roll a persuasion check. What were you going to say, Curt?
I am well, I'm not confused. Ghedaar is confused.
As is Valerian. I have no clue what's going on right now.
Yeah,
Berriluss has seen all of this coming.
If I knew what was going on, there was something I would say. But I was like,
yeah.
Who's this? I make room for him to go up the stairs. I'm like, I don't know who this guy is, but
No, don't let him go up the stairs.
You're standing at the top of the stairs now, blocking Berriluss from upstairs.
Yeah,
he goes up and looks into the room, and when he sees this guy, he's like, "Wait a minute, I know you." And you see his eyes like light up with alarm. He's like, and he's about to like shout out for help. Let's roll initiative.
Is this guy within firing range of me? Wait, who is this? This is the guy on the stairs or the guy in the room with me?
Guy on the stairs. The guy in the room with you is still like sleeping off his fucking hangover, right? This is the guy on the stairs. He's definitely within firing range. So just make sure, Gabe, you click on your token.
Okay.
And then click initiative on your character sheet.
Okay. Where's the? Oh, there it is. Come on.
Okay, cool. 20. Ghedaar Tidewalker. You go first. You could see from behind as you're like standing on these stairs just behind Valerian, this guy like look back at you, and then he's like looks back into the room and like panic setting in as he's about to raise the alarm. What would you like to do, Ghedaar?
I literally put my hands up in the air. I'm like, this is unusual, but maybe we should hear. I know the goal is to take over the ship from the other captain. So I just raised like, maybe we should hear this guy out. You don't seem too keen on the current captain. And that's my turn.
Excellent. That's your current turn. On 11. Wait, do I have everybody in here? Valerian. Hold on. I didn't get Havoc somehow. Would you roll for initiative, dude?
10. It's a 10.
Okay. So this guy still manages to beat you. Okay. He screams out on 11 for help! Captain! Mutiny! He starts like screaming
that's
from
a
down
big word.
here. It is. And then he pulls he like yanks a belaying pin out of like the belt at his pants and like turns like looking in at all of you. And yeah, then he'll like just charge into the room assuming you guys are going to help him. And this guy here is like kind of waking up a little bit as this is going down. So he runs in, stepping in next to this here, this chair, like kicking it out of the way. And he takes a swing at you, Havoc, with his belaying pin.
So if I can, do I have time before he's that close? Or, because I was thinking hand crossbow there. And as this guy's waking up, I'm just going to point my rapier at him. But I'm going to shoot this guy with the hand crossbow.
Unfortunately, he beat you in initiative. So as you're like, this is all happening in like seconds, right? As you snap the hand crossbow out and are like lifting it up and like maneuvering yourself to get it around the table, he's in the room and has kicked the chair and he's on top of you. Now you have like the hand crossbow like right in his face, but he's like on top of you with the club going first. So he rolls 14. What's your armor class?
12.
12? That's not right, is it? Oh, geez.
Wow.
That's because you have no armor on. You wearing any armor?
Breastplate?
You would be wearing armor. Breastplate, okay. Hold on, that's going to be much better. I think it just went to 16 real quick. Like, hold on one sec.
That went from 5 9th level characters to 4 and a 0 level commoner.
Yeah, exactly.
And a mouse. Don't forget the mouse. Okay. Breastplate. Okay, excellent. AC 16. So he misses. He swings down with his belaying pin and just like bang, it like clatters into your breastplate itself. So now that's his turn. This is where it gets complicated. Now it's your turn. You can attack him with the hand crossbow, but because he's within 5 feet of you, the attack's at disadvantage. Because you're like firing a missile weapon and he's like on top of you, like swinging this club and like in your face, and it's hard to aim.
Okay.
But you also have your sword, and you can just stab him with your sword at like not disadvantage, right?
Yeah, that's true. Since he's this close now. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So, rapier in hand, you lash out at this guy looming over you with this club. 20. Excellent. You hit. What a shame that the first one isn't a nightmare prismatic spray. You stab out with this like rusty pitted, seemingly like worthless rapier, like punching into this guy. So if you roll damage, just click over prismatic rapier itself on the right side in the chat, like underneath those numbers you just rolled, and it'll roll damage.
Nice.
Excellent. 10. Now, the thing is, the +2, Gabe, is because, like, it thinks you crit on the second die. So it's only 10 points of damage for now, which is still quite good. You stab the sword into this guy, driving it through his shitty leather armor, and he screams out as you pull the sword back, like, covered in blood. And he's still, like, yelling at the top of his lungs, like, Captain! Mutiny! So, Havoc, that's your action. You have a bonus action.
Can I use, and forgive me for...
No, it's fine. Yeah.
Can I make another attack either with the same weapon or with my other weapon?
You can make an attack with the crossbow that's in your offhand. It's just going to be a disadvantage because he's still in your face. And we don't add dex to the damage on your offhand attack.
Would I judge it to be a better move to use it to fire, or use it kind of like as a club? Like in his skull or something.
Yeah, you can just try to club him. Yeah. If you want to just like roll with your belaying pin and just try to like smash him with the handle of it, that's fine.
Okay.
So just use your like club instead of the hand crossbow. Same difference. Hell yes, 22. You just like reach out and crack him across the side of his face with the butt of the hand crossbow, so you can roll damage. Hell yeah, for another 5. You see like blood trickling out of his mouth now as he stands like panicked, looking back at the rest of you guys, waiting for you to do something. That's your action, your bonus action. You can move if you want, Gabe, but this guy will get an attack of opportunity if you leave his threat range.
And how big of a range is that?
Okay, so ultimately, like, he can attack everyone within 5 feet. So if you step out of that, then he'll make one attack at you. But it's just like within 5 feet of him, right? You could reposition to like the other side of the room without problem because you're still in his range, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as you step more than 5 feet away from him, he'll take a shot at you.
And those guys look like they have crossbows, so you probably don't want to move away because right now they have disadvantage against you because it's a ranged weapon. So you may just
they're just those tokens. The guy's got a club in his hand for now, right? He has a crossbow, but he's holding a club like while he's fighting him.
Never mind then.
All right, I guess unless I can like just reposition my rapier at the guy who hasn't done anything yet, to like kind of like smile as an offer. But if that can't do that right now, I'll just stay where I am.
Okay. Valerian, you're up.
It's going to be very excited. Finally fighting! And
Valerian.
I'm very confused as to who you are, but I need to kill them anyways. And then
I'll run up to the guy that's already taken damage, which is this guy, right?
Correctamundo, yeah.
Cool. And I'm gonna swing on him with my greatsword because this isn't the real battle. This is foreplay.
15 hits.
Nice.
Nice.
For 12 points of damage. Okay, the giant man, the half giant, comes charging into the room with this fucking massive sword, and it's like all he can do to swing the thing sideways. He's just barely got enough room to like wield this sword effectively, but he cleaves into this guy who screams out in pain as the sword like cuts into his right arm badly, and you just see blood like sieving down his arm, the white of bone exposed in his upper biceps. That's your first attack.
All right, he's still up. I'm gonna attack him again.
Just barely. He looks fucked up. Okay, hits.
That hits. Yeah,
For
that
16 points of damage. You literally are just like, whoo, chop, and cut his fucking head right off of his shoulders as his body like tumbles backwards into the corner, decapitated, spilling blood all over the floor. That's your action. Bonus action movement.
Bonus action. I'm going to light up my cloak because it's about time. So all of a sudden I go like this and you just see Valerian erupt in lightning trickling off of him.
Yeah, he's wearing this cloak that looks almost like eel skin now as you're first taking note of it, like really paying attention for the first time. And you could just see these sparks of electricity rolling down the cloak and like wrapping themselves, snapping around his body, like running over himself all around him. That's Valerian. Berriluss, you're up on 5.
I'm going to just step in the room and look at this guy who's like just waking up and be like, well, I mean, do you want to join us, or do you want to wind up like him?
Roll intimidation with advantage.
All right. I'll do that. As soon as I find it. Here it is. He wants to wind up like him. That's fine.
You dragon damned traitor! And like heaves himself up out of the chair with the club in his hand to get ready. So that was your action? Was trying to do that? You doing anything else? Bonus action movement? Anything?
No, I guess I'm just gonna step the 5 feet towards the giant, and yeah, he can go. I gave him his chance.
Okay, excellent. On 1, he leaps up out of his chair, stepping here into the corner of the room. Oh no, he doesn't. Havoc could attack him. He just leaps up, like kicking the chair back behind him, and he's got like a gaff hook in his hand that he just swings out at you like, I never liked you, goddamn wizard. Yep.
Rude.
What's your AC?
Hold on. Is this... Oh, never mind. No, wait, no, that's the wrong spell. Hold on. My AC is 13, but I'm going to use... This is a... Why is it not...
Oh, Jesus, it's happening again, you guys. Okay.
Oh, God, it's not going to help me.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to use the spell because he hits you on the first one and he's going to hit you. The second one, he proceeds to, like, bury the fucking hook into you badly.
Why you kill me in every game?
I'm so sorry, man. It's just the dice. They hate you. The first hook, like, drags across you for 6 points of damage, like hooking you in the collarbone almost. But the second... just fucking like digs down and like hooks into a piece of your gut for 9. So that's 15 altogether.
Sorry, I didn't notice this before.
Sure.
On one of my things, it doesn't say, it says discharge electricity damage to any opponent who makes a melee attack, regardless of hit or miss. Does that mean it has to be against me?
Yeah, against you. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Part I didn't specify. Yeah.
I was like, that's super cool. Sorry.
No, it's when they step in and like attack you, you have like static. Like
right.
Yeah.
Pika.
Okay. John, you hear the sounds of chaos happening from below. So if you would like, as we enter the second round, you may roll initiative.
I don't have a token.
Oh, well, that's because you're a mouse. I did not prep the mouse token, but this one's almost as small as a mouse. So
okay.
There you go. Sorry, friend.
No worries. I believe.
Now
Rishi
you,
would be
the
different
mouse on the deck, you can see that everyone on the deck has heard the shouts from below, and the captain now is like pointing towards the deck, like, make ready for them. The wizard like runs up here onto the other side, like, they probably won't all get up from down there, but if they do, they're ours. This thing steps forward. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so how many ropes? I must have chewed through a few ropes up here, right? Like that was
Yeah, you chewed through, let's say, like 4 or 5 ropes, and quite frankly, most of like the thing that was tied to the whole side of the boat is like completely fallen off now. There's netting like hanging rowboats down in the water. It's all fucked up. Nobody seems to have noticed yet, but yeah.
So this is the steering wheel, right?
Sure.
Okay, then I'm gonna scamper over to the steering wheel and then drop the wild shape. Does that take an action?
It's a bonus action to drop it.
Great.
I don't want to like lose us here. So the boat is anchored. Like, is that, what are we trying to do here? Did I not?
Okay. Then I don't drop my wild shape. But do I notice? Okay. So have I noticed that the boat is anchored?
Yes, I will say yes, you have. Because as you're like chewing these ropes, you're like, yeah, my plan. But then like as you chew the 3rd rope and it falls, you realize like, wait, these ropes aren't tied to anything. Wait, fuck, we came out here in a rowboat. Like this thing isn't tied to the dock. It's anchored. Fuck.
Okay. Then
more ropes.
I wasn't sure. I thought like you realized this, John, and you were playing into it. And I'm sorry if I didn't communicate well with you.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, I just read it.
This is good comedy, right?
Yeah, me too. I was like,
okay, so I'm going to then like scamper to like here, and then drop my. And then I'm going to drop my, I'm going to drop my wild shape, and I'm going to Misty Step to right next to the anchor rope. And that's everything I can do this turn.
Okay. Okay. You got it. Anyway,
it would be like here, but I don't know. Like,
no, you're fine.
I just need a way place that I can slash the rope and then get back to the other side or whatever. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. This guy here goes. He's charging across the fucking ship. He comes like charging up to you, Ghedaar, weapons drawn. That's all he can actually do because that's his movement. It's your turn, Ghedaar.
Does it look like he's trying to get past me, or does it look like he's going to attack me?
No, it definitely looks like he's going to attack you.
Okay. Because I don't have any weapons drawn or anything. So I didn't know what his intent was.
Okay. If you don't have any weapons drawn, then he's just like yelling as he comes charging with his weapons in his hand. And he's either like, he's just like, with me or against me, Dragonborn. You're either on this crew, you're not.
Oh, yeah. Then I'm taking out the sword and the shield and attacking.
Okay.
Like, definitely not with you, buddy.
Okay.
Uh, 17.
Yeah, hits.
13.
Excellent. You cleave into this guy. He's got a small, like, kind of buckler shield in his hand, and like he tries to get the sword up, or the shield up in time, but you cleave down on his arm, like cutting heavily into it, blood spraying all over the deck of the ship. That's your first attack.
And I swing crest, my longsword. AC 29. Punk.
Yeah,
does a 29 hit?
It sure does.
For 9 points of damage.
Okay, 22. He screams out as you slash down again with the sword, like cutting a thin line of red, like across his chest. You see his armor like cut here on the shoulder. And he's just like, you're going to die down here, Dragonborn. That's your action, bonus action movement?
No.
Okay. 19. This guy goes. He like runs over here. He's standing at the top of this staircase, and he will yank up his crossbow, firing at you, Ghedaar. 12.
I catch the bolt. And
yes. Your shield comes up, deflecting the bolt into your teeth as you crunch down on it pitifully. Havoc Skamos, you're up. Oh, you're muted.
The guy in the room with us.
Mm-hmm.
He's attacked. He's submitted. What has he done?
So the diviner, the mage, said like, join us, and he basically was like, "Fuck you, you mutineer! I'm gonna kill you." And then he stabbed the guy in the stomach with the gaff hook.
Yeah, he's kind of a jackass. Kill him.
And he's still out of range for the hand crossbow. Like,
well, so the idea is because he's so close, it's like a bitch for you to shoot. Yeah, whenever you're in melee combat with somebody, it's like a problem to shoot a missile weapon at them.
Gotcha. All right.
You could trade it out for like a knife quick if you want, right? You could like slip it back on your belt and like pull a knife instead, or a dagger, or whatever like your two-handed fighting thing is.
And just
dagger sounds good.
Okay.
And just in case you're used to second edition, you no longer incur a penalty casting in melee. Is that correct, Rich?
No penalty in melee, no.
Yeah. So I didn't know. That's something that's also changed in case you didn't want to cast.
Casting a distance spell, you take disadvantage.
Yeah, if it's a ranged attack, you still are at disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess first or primary action, I'll use the rapier against him.
Got it. Okay, roll it up. 17 hits. You drive the sword like whoosh, across the table and like pierces into one of his shoulders as he cries out, "Ah!" Glancing blow, but nonetheless, first blood. So now you have your bonus action, which you could make a second attack with the dagger, and we just don't get to add the dexterity to the damage of it.
All right.
So you guys like see this guy is smooth, man. Like quickly in one motion, the hand crossbow is back on his belt and a knife flashes in his left hand as he punches out, grazing across this guy for another 3. Okay, he's bloodied. Now you have movement, but it's the same kind of deal where he'll get an attack against you if you try to move.
Outside of 5 feet.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So you could slide into that space next to him. You could jump up onto the table in front of him. As long as you stay in 5 feet range, you're good to move.
I think I'll stay where I am then.
Okay. Valerian.
It's very easy, sir. When I walk up, whack the shit out of him, man.
Valerian just steps past Berriluss, like crackling with electricity. 27 hits. 13. Oh yeah, he screams. Ah! It's like the mighty green sword falls on him like death from above.
How's he looking? Pretty solid?
He looks really fucking hurt after that, but he's still like, fighting.
I'm gonna use a divine smite then.
Oh my word. Okay.
2d8. Let me conjure that up really quick.
No more alive and fighting.
I'll load one of those into your sheet, Alex. That's my bad. I should have done it already. 13. He drops as like this green like eldritch energy arcs down through the green sword, and you just see him like scream wildly as his life is like pulled from within by the might of the half giant. So you still have movement and a bonus action.
Nice. So I'm going to use so how far is it for me to get out of here? This is kind of like weird how the dimensions are.
I know it is. So 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet, and you're up on the deck of the ship in front of the golem, to be perfectly honest.
I don't want to abandon my newly met friend yet, though. So I want to step out and try and like get these two guys' attention.
The guys on the other side?
Yeah, the archers, right? Because they're like they're on the same level as us, right?
Yes. You're able to force your way down here past Ghedaar. Actually, you can't because this motherfucker's in the way is the problem, dude. Like, he's blocking you from getting out of the stairwell, like, right? Ghedaar's in front of you, and you could move through his space, but you can't move past this guy.
Then I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Misty Step.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sure you are.
And go straight through.
Okay, so from here to, like, legit, what do you get, 30 feet on Misty Step?
30 feet, yeah.
So you're at the foot of these stairs. That was 5, 10, 15, 20 feet of movement. You still have 10 feet of movement left. So you technically, you could step, like, one step up and attack this guy.
You could be, like, behind him.
Let's do it. Let's step one step up.
And so, yeah, you just take one big step and you're like halfway up the staircase. And all of a sudden, this guy's fucking crossbow is like shaking in terror as a giant like bears down on him with this green sword crackling with electricity.
Do it.
Hit him.
Why is that not letting me click greatsword?
I don't know.
It doesn't want you to hit him.
One sec. Sorry. Let me just bring my characters. Oh, because I'm not. I don't know. That's really weird. It's like letting me edit it, but not click it. I never had this happen.
Oh, did you unlock the box?
No, not that I know of. Oh, because I'm clicking the wrong thing.
Oh. 21 hits.
Come on.
Dang.
14, only the 14, not the extra. But still, you cleave down into him with the mighty sword, and he screams, like dropping the crossbow to the ground.
Nice.
It's a giant! Okay, that's your whole turn. That was movement, action, and a bonus action. Berriluss, you're up.
I'm going to step back over into this hallway here, standing behind Ghedaar, and I was looking for... Where'd it go? Oh, and then I was going to cast Mage Armor on myself and just be safe.
Oh, yeah, excellent. You are now armed. Good job.
Yeah, I now have armors.
This guy right here, he steps back up into the corner over here, and he fires off a crossbow shot at you, Valerian.
Yeah, bring it.
Please.
He's like, please, give it to me. And
whoa.
He's scared so fucking shitless. The crossbow Carl like hits the wall a solid like 18 inches above your head, and you look up like, not that tall, you know? Okay, cool. And then this guy here, I actually got them backwards. This guy here, having dropped his crossbow, has got a club in his hand that he like swings feebly at you. Ooh, 21 and 15?
The 21 hits.
Okay. For 7 points of damage. Not so feeble after all. He's like,
nice.
Damn you, giant! Crack! And just like smacks you across the chin with this belaying pin. And it hurts a little bit.
As he does that, he realizes that I'm still surrounded in lightning. So I use my reaction to do 1d8 7 damage to him.
Okay. And so like the lightning arcs off of you and like snaps back into him like, ah! It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. It's not a giant.
That was awesome.
Yeah, you see this shit from the other side, Ghedaar. Like, nice. Okay.
Lightning.
This beefy bro in front of you now. His spear in one hand, shield in the other. He like has this buckler and he lifts the shield like, Rah! And stabs down at you twice.
Oh, really? Shit.
20! Yeah, trouble. And 25. Wow. This is going to hurt.
Ouch.
It's a math. amount of damage. 16, 26, 30, 40 points of damage from the first fucking spear attack. Nightmare critical attack. He buries the spear down into your friggin' your thigh. You feel the spear tip like hit the hip of your bone and glance off of it, and scales like rip and crack off of your hip, like scattering to the ground beneath you with the massive pool of your draconic blood as well. And then the second attack is only 10 points of damage. Wait, I lied entirely. You only take 16 on the first one and 10 on the second one. Still pretty bad. 16, but it's not 40. Yeah.
It's 20 less than originally, so I'll take
Precisely. it. 16 plus 10, 26 altogether.
26, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Math is tough. Okay. Okay.
Okay, math is really tough. That's him. Gimble Stonecloak, you're up.
Okay, so I shouldn't have been able to do what I did on the last turn, and you probably knew that because my sheet wasn't marked right, and Misty Step was also a bonus action. So technically I shouldn't be there. I don't know if you want to retcon it, and I'm still just back.
Honestly, I kind of do, because the whole issue is that the thing is chain, but I don't want to keep like shitting on you with this.
No, that's fine. I didn't have it in my thing correctly. So I was there, and instead of casting Misty Step, I cast on the last one mirror image. So there's like 3 of me, or however many of me.
Okay.
So now on this turn, I will Misty Step over to the. I'll Misty Step over to the chain like I was supposed to last time, as my bonus action on this turn, and take out my. And then with my action, I will take out my. No, fuck it. With my action, I will cast Tidal Wave. Over the ship.
Conjure up a wave of water that crashes down an area within range. Could be 30 feet long and up to 10 feet wide and 10 feet tall. So
I guess,
dimensions, my friend.
Yeah.
10 feet or 10 feet or which way are we going? I guess I want to get those stairs are kind of in the way, right? So I want to get. I'll say like it's 30 feet. Yeah.
So I want it that and that.
Got it. So you can hit all 4 of these targets.
Correct.
Okay. So check it out. You call to the magic of the sea, and this wave rises up from behind you at the prow of the ship, lifting like a fucking like a straight tower of water standing almost vertically in front of the ship. And you see all these figures up here turning, taking it in, looking at it like, oh, holy shit, what? And then it crashes down immediately in front of you, arcing right over your head in an impossible angle, smashing into 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so these guys technically... Saves. Yeah, they should all have saving throws this round because you appeared last round, or initiative, but it's fine since I fucked everything up. So, deck saves. DC 17?
Yep.
Right? Radic.
Got it.
The pirate.
Makes it.
Frostblood's guard over here. Oops. He's got a better deck save, actually. It should be +3 on the first roll. I'm not going to re-roll it. He made it anyway. And the ugly, fleshy, disgusting golem.
So the ones that made it take half damage and aren't prone, but the ones that didn't are knocked prone and take full damage.
Got it. So Radic the Magi takes 13 points of damage and is not knocked prone. This pirate is prone. I'm going to use that one. Prone and takes, what is it, 27? Yeah, he is fucked up, barely alive. This guy here is not prone and takes 13. And the flesh golem is knocked prone and takes 27 points of damage. Okay, Gimble. That was your bonus action. That was your action.
Yep.
What else you got? Movement. You want to move?
I want to stay there.
Okay.
Mike, I do have a question for the next round, though, just so that I can think about things. Are you going to allow me to slash at the rope with a bonus action, or do I have to use an action to do that?
It's a chain. That's what I was trying to say. I think it's a bitch because it's a chain. But it would still be a standard attack because you're trying to like break something. Like it's got hit points, in other words, right? So it would be a standard attack. You're making an actual attack against it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't panic. I think this is my thought here, guys. It's coming up on 11:15. I want to finish this round of combat and leave in the middle of it and come back next week to like all these guys on the deck rolling initiative. That's like my thought where we're at right now. Anyway, Ghedaar on 20. You're up downstairs.
The guy with the spear, the gladiator. Yes. Do I look like does he look like he's got a lot of steam left in him, or did I rock his world that first time?
He's pretty hurt, but he's not like falling over dead. No, he's not that hurt. I take it all back. Okay. He's not that hurt.
Then I am going to use my Blade Ward cantrip.
Okay.
Well, you know what? We're not gonna if we're gonna finish this round out, we may not even remember that for next week, because that would really more impact his attack on me next round. Or does he attack me this round?
He did already. He went before you.
Yeah. Then just for the purposes of expediency, I won't cast it, and I'll just attack twice. Because we won't remember next week. So I'd swing at it. 16
hits. Just hits. That's his AC.
For 15 points.
Nice. You cleave into him, cutting him like badly across his shoulder.
And on the backswing, I hit AC miss.
Oh, double critical ones. That's the first one, so I'm going to be compassionate. He brings the shield up with the backswing like
what were you going to do, Rich? Bring it.
Be compassionate. That's all.
No, because bonus action. I just call that weapon back to my hand.
I know. I believe it. It shatters into 1,000 pieces.
That would kind of suck.
Yeah, cool. So he blocks the backswing. That's your attack. You're not going to move, I presume.
No.
Bonus. Action?
Actually, I can't move through him, so I am done.
Okay. This guy goes, dude in front of you, Valerian, with his club, takes 2 swings at you. 6 and 20. What? He fucking 20. Slams you again right in the mouth with the club, and 8 points of damage. It only barely hurts more than last time. This little flea, poor thing. He doesn't even know how bad he's going to die. Okay, Havoc, Amos, you're up.
So these guys are dead. Can I see this guy up the stairs there?
Yeah, sure. So if you move like the 15 feet, you're out here in the hall, and as you look up the stairs, you could definitely see the golem looming down, looking down the staircase at you.
Okay.
How do I fit?
I know spatially this is very weird, right? But you know, you could see the golem. That's pretty much it. That's all you could see from downstairs.
Okay. And if anything, there's only the mouse. The mouse was chewing ropes. Anchors. Okay. I think I can do objects. Casting time, 1 action. All right. I'm going to animate the anchor to come up from below wherever it is and start attacking this skin construct thing.
I think you might need to be able to see it. Let me double check. Let's just take a look here. Can you cast telekinesis or animate objects? Just click on it so it casts, actually.
1 second.
And we'll be able to read it and see exactly how it works. Okay, crazy amount of text. Objects come to life at your command. Choose up to 10 objects within range that are not 120 feet.
500 feet. Wait. No.
No, it's 120 foot range, but I just want to see if he needs. Interesting. You don't need to be able to see it. It does not say.
No, that's weird.
And my follow-up question is, how would you categorize the size of the anchor?
I'm going to call it large, I think, right? Because it's got the chain attached to it. It's not quite at the point of being huge, right? But
Right.
certainly the mass of the chain and the anchor itself, it's a big boat. Okay, 120 feet. Let me see here. Technically, it's like 100 feet that way. Yeah, whatever. Fuck it. You get the anchor. You animate it, and it proceeds to dredge up from the water. Okay, as a bonus action, you can mentally command it to attack anything within 500 feet. So you can't see anything except the golem. You want it to attack the golem?
Yeah, that's the idea. But since it's a large object,
Yes.
I think I still have 6 more object points that I could use.
Okay.
Did I notice any loose chains when I was coming down?
I thought you said loose change.
Yes. Yes. There's definitely like loose chains laying around. Yes.
And would those count as small or medium?
They're going to be medium.
Are those huge crossbows on the back of the boat too?
Yes.
Medium
Ballistas.
target. Okay, so then if I've got 6, then 3 of the loose chains as well as the anchor, and have them attack the giant golem thing.
Nice, dude. Nice.
Okay, I'm just double checking. Up to 10
Kill 'em
non-magical
with the own
objects.
shit.
Mediums count as 2. Large count as 4. Yup, so large is 4. Medium is 2. So 3 chains. Okay. Cool. I don't have really good tokens for an anchor on hand. We will use this.
Why didn't you think ahead to this?
I know. What a chump DM move. Doesn't matter with me. Okay.
That's good.
We're going to do that. We're going to do this guy to front. And then we're going to throw a couple of these dancing swords down as chains start popping up.
That is amazing, dude. That was great.
That's a 5th level spell, my friends. Okay, so as a bonus action, you can mentally command any creature you made the spell within 500 feet. Okay, it makes an attack roll at +6 to hit.
Do I make those rolls, or?
Sure, if you'd like to, absolutely, you can. Yeah, so if you just want to open up the advanced dice roller over on the left side, just 1d20 +6 for the anchor. Okay, that's a start.
Nice.
Flesh Golem's AC is not that high. It hits.
He's also prone. Oh,
Oh, he is prone, so you have advantage on attacks.
roll it again. Maybe you'll crit. Ah,
Whoa. Okay, sadly, I'm going to tell you a sad thing now. You can make all your attacks with your other things if you'd like.
Okay, and those I'm seeing at 2d6 + 1.
Yup. Yeah, that's damage,
damage.
though. The attacks are going to be 1d20 plus 5.
That's 5.
this is so cool.
So there's 1. Oh, but he's prone, so I should roll it twice for each one.
Yeah, you get advantage. Here's the sad thing. I'm just gonna, we're just gonna fast forward for a second. So the chains start like smashing the shit out of this thing. The anchor comes ripping up out of the water, and you see it, Gimble, like holy fuck! The chain rising behind it like a snake as it crashes across the deck of the ship and fucking smashes into this golem. And sadly, you see, and you could see it as well, Havoc, from down below, this magical creature is unaffected by these blows. These weapons are going to be ineffective against it. Are you proficient in Arcana, either of you guys?
Hold on.
Sure.
No.
Yes, I am.
But I'm a jack of all trades.
So roll. Yeah, then fuck it. Both of you roll Arcana checks. Difficulty will be 6 is not high enough. 12 is not high enough. The difficulty is going to be 14. Neither of you knows what exactly this thing's vulnerable to, but it appears that it's immune to damage from normal weapons. So you've learned something very important. Now, these things will not be useless to you, Havoc. You can certainly use them to like fuck up all the rest of the guys up here.
Captain's going down.
Yes.
So can I ask a technical question? I know that my tidal wave causes bludgeoning damage, and it did take that damage, correct?
Yes, but there's like a technicality of immune to bludgeoning damage from
magic
weapons.
Or non-magic. Okay, I got you. Okay.
Weapons, right? And so it's a way to like specify that spell attacks are still safe.
I'm really confused right now.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
My
Ask
character
me
is
some
very
questions.
confused right now. Okay. Cool.
Yes, he is. Yeah. Havoc, you had some movement left. You use your action. You have movement and your bonus action if there's anything else left you want to do. Sadly, the animated objects cannot take down this golem.
Any more hostiles down below?
There's one guy that you hear fighting your friends at the foot of the stairs. If you glance around, you could see him standing here face to face with Ghedaar.
It looks like they're going to be okay dealing with him?
Yeah.
Okay. So since that attack didn't seem to work, correct me if I'm wrong, I have an attack left?
You have a bonus action. You can't just use that for an attack of like your offhand unless you made an attack with your primary hand. We could talk about this a little bit more, I guess, between streams. But the idea is like the second attack of your bonus attack, it's only when you're actually fighting with two weapons. So since you cast a spell, you kind of gave that up, if that makes sense.
But if you have a spell that's a bonus action, you could cast that.
Right, or your Bardic Inspiration or any of that kind of bonus action stuff. Yep.
Okay.
That's cool.
Can I use a cantrip on this guy that they're facing at the foot of the stairs? And I'm gonna just make like some like sparks and things just flash in his face.
Yeah, sure. Okay, sure. That's fine. Yeah, you snap off like a prestidigitation cantrip that like just like okay, cool. If you want to move anywhere, you still have another 10 feet of movement if you want to run up on the deck and be all like exposed.
Yeah, I'd like to get a good view of what's going up on the deck.
Okay, then we'll move you to right here, standing at the top of the stairs. And now you can see everything up there. Valerian, you're up.
Cool. I'm gonna kill the guy in front of me.
Yeah, of course you are.
That's what I hired you for.
21. Oh, he did. You have followed through on your promise to me, Valerian.
Yeah, nice.
You just like cleave the sword down into his collarbone, and it sinks like halfway into his chest before you rip it out, and he tumbles to the ground in a heap.
I'm leaving a straight blood trail on this boat.
Yep.
I'm gonna run up to the next guy, and just for purposes of I'm probably not going to remember how many rounds my cloak has been activated, I'm going to do this.
Oh, sick. Okay. You run up and are just like, and this like fucking explosion of lightning like rolls off of your body, just shattering him for 20 points of damage. He's like, yeah, okay.
I'm going to attack him again.
27 hits for 15, and then you just like swing the sword right through his abdomen as you just bisect him into two pieces, and the halves, charred, shocked, and fried, collapse onto a pile on the ground.
Nice.
Berriluss, Cosmos, you have a little bit of movement and a bonus action, Valerian.
I'm just gonna rush as far as I can towards the way up. So
you can get to about here.
Cool. Perfect.
Okay. Berriluss, you're up.
I'm gonna step to right behind Havoc, and I'm gonna cast Ice Storm on what like it's 20 feet. So where'd my ruler go? This. That. Yeah, I like that.
You're gonna hit me.
Cool.
No, I'm not. You're under the boat.
Stairs.
Oh, you're up. Oh, I see. Sorry.
Okay.
Did it not just send anything with the boat?
No.
Let's try this one then.
Does it ask what level? Oh, there it is. PC 16 deck save. Okay. He gets advantage on this. 14
Too bad.
fails. But resistant to cold damage.
So 20 for him. Because it's half and half.
Yeah.
And then the whole like main part of the ship is difficult terrain until I go next time.
Yeah, that's actually ridiculous. We're gonna have to write that down. I mean, like this was the space, right?
Yeah, it's a 20 by. Hold on, let me get the. I wanted it to shoot the spell card out, but I wanted to ask about levels and stuff, so it didn't do that.
You can tell it in the things to also do the spell card. This is what I try to do. It's
20-foot radius by 40-foot high cylinder.
Yeah, that's fine. We're just gonna draw it as a square here. It gets all these guys. So that's Frostblood. Now, Flesh Golem, Lightning, Poison. Yep. Yeah, he's going to fail this fucking bad. What do you know?
Good 28.
Okay. Yeah, that was actually really fucking sick. 28 is 55. Okay. And then these scrubs. 2 pirates. And a guard.
Only one.
Well, they still take half though. So.
Yeah. Still.
Oh, hero shit. Okay, so he takes 28-14. It's 27. Yep. And this guy here is 28. Yep. And this guy here. Okay, got it. This guy dies. This homeboy on the end who is laying prone. A hailstone the size of like a bowling ball just smashes him in the face and shatters his fucking skull right on the deck. And with that, these 2 scrubs downstairs will go. Oh no, they won't. They're all dead. And so we shall pause right here at 11:02, and we get to come back to some full kinetic energy. Gentlemen, this was a delight. I cannot thank you all enough for joining us here at TPK Games for the first episode of Abrea before the campaign. And I hope that was fun.
Yeah, follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/TPK_games or on Twitter at TPK_games. I've been doing so well up until that point. You can also follow us all on Twitter. Our handles are below. It's at Donsky Kong, at Curt Clark, at Gabe Real Grunbaum, at Jon Reed 16, and at Captain Emo. So please follow us.
16. Don't forget me. Don't forget me.
And with that, Fred 65. Just because he's not on the Chiron, which we'll have to get him a Chiron.
At God.
So that was awesome, you guys. I hope that was fun. I think that was a really great first episode. I think it was awesome.
Me too. I think it was a blast. So join us. We'll be back for this show in 2 weeks, but next week we'll have the campaign with the OG cast. So check that out as well. Every Tuesday at 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern, you'll find us playing D&D here at TPK. So join us for all the fun goodness on Tuesdays. Bye, everybody.
Thank you guys for coming.